My bad.
All right. We are Project Mayhem podcast.
Yes, sir.
Episode 9.
Yes, 9.
We did 8 because we had a free session. We did it somewhere
Yeah.
else. And we're joined today by Long Island Paranormal.
Paranormal. Pow.
Yep.
All right, so we got Mike. And what's your name?
My name's James.
James. What's up, James?
How's it going?
What's up, Mike? We should have did this before.
I did it before. I did it before. I was a gentleman. I shook their hands before we started. You want to do it on camera? What the hell's going on, bro? It was proper etiquette.
No, I did say hi before, but I didn't get their name. So you're the founder,
Yes.
and you're one of the investigators. Right?
I'm the tech manager with the group.
Okay.
So how did this get started?
So yeah, the beginning phases. When I was a kid growing up, I had like reading comprehension problems. So if I read something, I would have no clue what the hell I read. But if it was like a ghost story or something about UFOs or Bigfoot, I would just get it. So, I was always fascinated since I was a kid. And then in 2003, we were all kind of talking as friends about all the different urban legends of Long Island, and Kings Park Psych Center came up.
That's right by my house. Yep.
Yeah.
And then like Ronkonkoma Lake.
Yeah,
That one.
Lake Ronkonkoma. Yeah,
Now let me ask you
grew
a
up in
question.
Ronkonkoma, so,
Pilgrim
yeah.
State. That's another one, right? That's
Yeah,
really.
there was actually 4 major psych centers on Long Island. There's
Really?
Pilgrim, Kings Park, CI, and Edgewood.
So
It's right Edgewood. I forgot about that.
So not to cut in, but I was at a doctor's appointment this morning, and the doctor used to work at Kings Park, and she was like, "You need to go check out, I think, building 157."
157.
She said it's like completely haunted. She was like doors will close during the day. So continue. So
Very cool, very cool.
You looked into all urban legends.
Kings Park Psych Center came up, and I dared 2 of my friends to go into Building 93 at Kings Park, and they were like, "Hell yeah, let's do it!" And this is back in 2003, so we had a crappy video camera.
Good old days.
You know.
The good old days.
Definitely. So they went in, and they were in there for about an hour and 45 minutes. And towards the end, they were in one of the sub-level basements. The camera shut off. They heard a loud bang, freaked out, and they ran out. So that kind of intrigued me and the co-founder, Rob Levine. So we started looking up all the different sites on Long Island, and we found out that they sell equipment that goes along with some of the theories. So we bought some stuff and started to investigate. And we wanted to see, if what people were experiencing at these locations was really happening. And we started capturing evidence that we couldn't explain, and we've just been doing it ever since.
I love this. This is the same thing. I was doing the same thing. We just didn't have equipment. We were doing
This is
Ouija
type of
boards. We were going to site centers. Okay, Ouija boards.
Dangerous.
Okay, did not know.
Yeah.
We messed up this house in Shirley for like a good 10, 15 years. Like this, we destroyed it. Whatever we did was so bad. And like I was talking to my ex-wife before, and whatever we did in that time frame, I had like a demonic attachment for a while.
Sure.
And I was getting fevers, and I said the story wrong. I thought she heard from a medium that told her, but she had she does Reiki. She's big into the spiritual side of things, and she seen I was coming home from work as my daughter was born. She said she seen it looked like a drug addict, guy with a flannel with real dark eyes go into me. I used to get fevers, 104 fevers, and my body was shut down. I would get marks on me. And she saw it, and then I came home, and then boom, the fever kicked in. I went to doctors. I said the whole story, but yes, I've seen stuff since I was a kid.
Sure.
Since I was a kid. I don't know. Let me ask you a question. Do you ever get those chills in the back of your neck when something is going on?
Definitely. I definitely feel that in certain locations. I'm not a psychic or sensitive or
Yeah,
anything like that,
but when you're something
absolutely.
active, you can feel it.
You can definitely feel it. It's like your instinct.
Yes, your instinct catches in.
Sure.
So look, James, how did you get involved?
So I actually got involved. At the time, I was living in Florida, and one of my best friends growing up had reached out to Mike to ask to join the group. So he joined the group, and then I joined about a year later. And I originally started as a aux guest in Florida. So my role in the group was creating all the site stories for our website about the haunted locations. So we would do the history and the paranormal. And then finally, when I moved back to New York, I joined the group full time, and very quickly they asked me to take over the tech department, and I've just been doing that ever since.
That's what's up. See, I grew up with Bianca. She's
Okay.
Sure.
So I had I learned about you guys through her page.
Gotcha.
I guess you guys do some things together that maybe
She's in the group.
In the group.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Yep.
That's what she was telling me. Yeah, she was
Okay.
explaining it to me the other day.
we got
Because
her
she saw the
coming on
post.
in
Yeah.
May.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Very cool.
And so, being from Long Island, right, and you ghost hunting, right, what have you found to be the most haunted?
I was just about to ask that. That was the first question.
And what kind of what was that? what was a moment that made you be like, yo, something's going on here?
Like without a doubt that you were like, all right.
Like, because I heard of like Katie's in Smithtown. So
That was right. That's where we were going to my apartment.
Sure.
Yep, we've done
Camp
that.
Hero.
Camp Hero, I feel it was like.
Camp Hero's the tough one because
You can't really. do
I've
it.
only gotten 2 of our members in there recently, within the past
Oh, really?
couple months.
Recently?
Yeah,
Yep.
because it's
Because I'm sure with
federal,
Stranger
it's-
Things, a lot of people have been
Well,
going there too, so the security's probably beefed up.
exactly,
Into that,
and it's
yeah.
federal, so you don't want to get messed
Yeah,
around.
Now,
in there, you know,
like,
so.
and now also when you go to these places, like whether it's Kings Park or whatever, is there? Do you have to get clearance to go?
No.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
rare.
No, it's kind of a trespassing.
It's,
let's
it's,
not-
Yeah,
so it's
I
better
gotcha.
to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Yeah, like we're not going in to ruin these places.
Yeah,
we're going
right,
in with matching T-shirts
Yes,
and these
yes.
crazy paranormal
Yeah.
equipment. It's kind of like,
Right.
we're there.
Have
we're
you
not.
tried to like get a TV show or something?
We've been many years ago, like at the height of the paranormal on TV, like we were getting asked like once a month.
Really?
And oh yeah, and
Yeah, so they had Ghost Adventures.
Well, they had Ghost Hunters. The
Ghost
Roto-Rooters
Hunters. They had a
guys,
couple
the
different
ones,
I had a
Ghost
contract with they wanted me to run their team in Ghost Hunters International.
Oh, really?
Yeah, as a lead investigator,
Oh.
and when you really you get a contract,
I know, it's probably
and
crazy.
when
yeah.
you start breaking it down, it's just like no.
I
They
don't
also
wanna-
got
I don't want
you,
to sign my
You
life.
know,
out.
like it's that, but like we're very true to the paranormal. Like we don't fake anything. Everything is very legit.
Now, it's another question.
So
Have you
that's
ever heard? Because I've heard things, like with more of the more popular ones, that they do kind of.
I think it's more. I don't think anybody's. I think some shows out there definitely purposely fake stuff. I
Yeah.
think other things is more exaggerating things.
Okay,
and
I see what you're
a
saying.
lot of them are told to do that, and people are like, well, why do you do that? Well, once you sign that contract,
You want ratings
that's
too.
it. Like you're done.
You sign your
can't
life
just
away.
you can't just be like I quit.
Yeah, because
know,
you're
it
right.
doesn't
Because I
work
worked
like
on
that.
Dancing with the Stars years ago, and it's supposed to be reality. And there was stuff we had to shoot a couple times, make it more
So
dramatic.
exactly.
It's like
Exactly.
reality
It
shows.
was real,
They're not
but
re-
elevated.
Right,
They would elevate
so-
some things. Like you
yeah,
said.
like if something happens here and you react, but the cameraman unfortunately is facing that way.
You have to redo it again.
It happened, but they're just gonna kind of.
Yeah. So now you got to manufacture that again, which is not
And
authentic.
it's not going to be seen as authentic.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Because like this whole like I was addicted to watching a story about Skinwalker Ranch for a
Sure,
while, and
sure.
the amount of stuff between paranormal and,
And
then
UFOs, yeah.
and,
Yep.
and just things like that. So back to the question, Long Island wise, what's the scariest place you've been to?
we've all
I feel like it's like we'll have.
Yeah,
two
well, you go
different
first, and then you go.
answers. It's
Yeah,
tough
because I want to
it's
see.
like-
You guys might have different answers.
I feel like
different
there's
perceptions.
definitely 2 locations that are probably the most haunted on like the worst end of it.
Really?
I'll go with Mount Misery Road. That seems to.
Where's
be,
that?
like- it's in Melville, Huntington area. So Mount
That's
Misery.
me and my cousin were just
Sweet
talking about this. I
Hollow
told him
Road,
you guys are coming on.
It's
Yeah.
West Hills County
Yes,
Park.
and we went there in 2005.
Okay.
And we were doing something over there, and we were trying to figure out the name of the road. We were talking about the other day. It's in Melville. It's Sleepy Hollow, right there. Yep, I know
Yep.
exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
So-
Mount Misery sounds like some shit goes down.
Yeah, so,
You know?
like a quick reference of just like the history of it is, it's like the highest point on Long Island.
Yep.
So many
I thought
years
that was
ago.
Bald Hill.
No,
this is actually it. Yeah. No, he's right.
Yeah,
Yep.
over by that area. So
Okay.
many years ago, if it was like really crappy weather, like raining out, the horse and carriage as it went up the hill would be very strenuous on the horse. That's how it got its name, Mount Misery Road.
Yep. Yep.
And then Native Americans owned the land for many years. They actually sold it to the white settlers. We actually found the deed. It's in our files. It's really cool.
That's awesome.
They sold it to us because they thought it was cursed land. So this goes
Really?
back many, many years ago. And then in the 70s, apparently there was a lot of like cult activity there, demonic rituals being done in those
Yes.
woods.
Yes. I read that too. Yep.
And we went in there one night, a group of 4 of us. I'll never forget the night. And whatever we came across, it's definitely, we think it's demonic. So we went in, and it's a group of 4. And at first, I started smelling what smelled like a rotten egg smell.
Yes. That sulfur smell.
Yes,
Yep.
which
yep.
is a characteristic of
Demonic. Yep.
The crazy thing about that is the other 3 members smelt nothing.
Really?
A couple minutes go by, I stop smelling it, another member smells it, but the rest of us don't. And it literally targeted each one.
That's
of
how
us.
you know it's even more real, because if you guys all smell at the same time, it could be anything.
It could be
but
anything,
Picking
right.
you guys one off at a time, that means
Exactly.
yeah.
So we keep going, and we got to this spot where like the pathway kind of splits off, and we all felt like if we go any further, like it's gonna get real bad. So we kind of listened to our instinct, held there. So we had some crazy hits on our equipment, like K2 meters and tri-field meters, and then towards the end of the night, we start walking out, and one of our investigators, Shannon, she's a psychic,
Oh.
and she picked up a name and she saw something like kind of scurrying on the ground. So she pointed at it. She's like, "Do you guys see that?" And I'm like, "I don't see anything." One of our other members, Dimitri, he walks over and he's like, "I think I see it." And he points at it. He's like, "Is that it?" She's like, "Yeah, yeah." So I'm like, "All right, don't say the name. Don't say what you guys see. Let's just get out of here." So we go back to our office. I separate them and I draw what you guys saw. So they're like sitting like one end of the table and their drawings matched about 90%. So I run the name through our demonology database, and sure enough,
database, that's awesome.
that's
Crazy. Oh, that's awesome.
So the name pops up, sure enough, and I do a little research on it, and it matches their drawings about 85%. So we're like, holy shit, So what do? We go back a week later, and we pick up the same things: the smells, odd feelings, and a few years go by, we keep going back to the same spot, and I'll never forget, I was driving home from work, and Dimitri, he was our second in command at the time, calls me up, and he's like, "Yo, when you get home, check them out misery file and call me." I'm like, "Okay." So we do field reports for every single investigation we do.
Okay.
So I get home, I look up the file, and I'm like, "There's a pattern." He's like, "You see it?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's in September." So it's like 2 weeks in September where the fall equinox falls on like a full moon, and for some reason, that moment, that time is just crazy. We think it's kind of on a 7-year cycle, so like the 7th year is the craziest, and every year after it dissipates.
The cycle begins and gets
It's wild,
people don't realize it's all correlates together. All that makes like even with what time you guys usually do it at night?
We'll start as early as like 9 p.m. A lot of times we do like Mount Misery, we'll get there like 10:30. If we do an overnight, we might do like 11 o'clock at night to like 3 a.m.
Because I always heard like 3 a.m.'s like or is that just like more of like a myth?
I think they say that because Christ died on the cross at 3 p.m.
Okay.
So demonics do 3 a.m.
Yeah, I always heard that's like the veil is at its weakest. It's supposed to be.
That's another question I got. Do you guys have? Are you religious? Do you believe in God?
I would say I'm somewhat. I'm not like I don't go to church every weekend, but I believe in God. I grew up Catholic. I wear a cross, St. Michael, stuff like that.
Okay.
So I do believe. Yeah.
I consider myself more agnostic. I mean, I don't think of it either way. When I pass away, I guess I'll find out.
That's how I look at it. I believe in a higher power, something that created something, and I believe big with UFOs and that whole other dimensions, other realities. So I don't really believe in one God. There's way too much going on. But like same thing, like when you die, you'll figure it out because nobody's done that. But like I have a big thing of religion because of certain things that go on, and the Vatican's one of the most evil places.
Exactly.
We're in the process of trying to get. We're waiting for this lady.
I know.
Date for this guy, Father Dan Rehill. He's a Catholic priest, but he's also the country's leading exorcist.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Some wild
cool.
stories.
Very
Like we watched some of it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Sure.
Wild things.
That's cool.
So what about you? What's the scariest event or place that you've been to since you've been involved? And is there something that you witnessed prior to joining the team?
Yes. So I guess I'll start with the most haunted place I've been to since joining the group is a place called the Thomas Halsey Homestead out in Southampton.
Oh, okay.
I know you love it.
He said,
So we actually used to do public events out of this house. And I would say 1 in every 3 public events that we did, we had to pull at least one person out of the house because the energy there was so heavy, so negative, and they just couldn't be in that house anymore. So I think it was one of the last times we went in there. It was 3 of us. It was me, an investigator, Brandon, and Shannon, our psychic. And we were up on the 2nd floor, and Shannon started seeing what she described as a woman floating across the hallway in the room across the hallway from us. And she just started describing this weird, twisted face that this woman had. Now, I didn't see anything. I wasn't really getting a feeling or a vibe that night either. It was kind of very quiet for me. But I decided to, for whatever reason, push it a little too far, which admittedly I should not have done, but I did it.
You definitely could do.
But I decided to go up and go across the hallway into this room where this woman that she was seeing was, and I pointed and went like, "Is she right here or right here?" And Shannon said, "You're pointing at her." I'm like, "What is she doing right now?" And she said, "She's just staring at you."
Oof.
And I'm like trying to like,
Provoke it?
can you please just give me a sign that you're in this room with me? Let me
Be
see
careful
you.
what you ask for.
Whatever. After about 5 minutes, nothing really happened, and Shannon only said, like, yeah, she's just still kind of just staring at you. So I went, okay, whatever. I'm going to head back into the room with the other 2 investigators. As I start to head across the hallway, all of a sudden, my vision just started, like, spinning. And it was very weird because it would, like, spin clockwise, and then it would spin counterclockwise, to the point where, like, I couldn't get across the hall. I had to lean on the wall.
Right.
Like,
Kinda
your
crawl back
equilibrium
in.
was thrown off, right?
Mhm, yeah. And what Shannon said, and I've always wondered if this correlated to, like, my vision, was when I was leaving, this woman, the spirit that was across the hall, would started doing, like, that, you know, that Michael Myers, like, head tilt
Oh, yeah.
one way or another. And I always wondered
like
if
the-
that
the-
was, like, what coordinated it. But after I got back into the room, I kind of went what we call, like, going bye-bye, which is, like, you're there, but mentally you're
Yeah,
kind
so you
of
had, like,
in a
that checked
different...
out look on
You're
you.
checked
Okay,
out,
yeah,
yeah. And a couple, probably seconds, if not maybe a minute later, all of a sudden the entire house just starts shaking. And I've never been in a house that just started shaking before. And we caught it on audio, on video. You can hear all the utensils, and they had, it was an old 1600s house, so they had like a bunch of stuff hanging for, you know, the cooking utensils, and you can see it moving. Another team was actually doing an investigation at the Rogers Mansion, which was down the street. And we actually called them on a radio and said, was there just an earthquake? Because it shook.
It shook
that
so violently, you almost thought it was something outside of the paranormal.
Yeah. So fair enough. We got the heck out.
You know
of
what's
there.
crazy you say that? Years ago in my grandparents' apartment, I was telling a story. The bed shook
you told me
so violent, like it shook a little bit. You know, in Queens,
Yeah.
you know, stuff
Right,
happens.
right. Yeah.
It shook again. I remember sitting up, being like, "If something's in this room, it'll do it." Like I screamed out loud. I was just getting so far. The bed shook. I'm talking about like, bang, 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 which I didn't think until I heard a story like that. Like I thought I was losing my mind. Like it shook to the point that you're like a roller coaster ride, where it's like, blah,
Yep.
blah, 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 blah.
Now, let me ask you this: is there somewhere that people like us could go to watch what you guys documented? Is there a way to check that, or
We have some stuff on our YouTube page. Like we're not super active on it, but we did like a couple of I think we have like a 10 series episode where we did like it's called Real Ghost Hunting with Long Island Paranormal, where it's uncut. It's
Okay.
the full
Straight
like
raw.
we go the minute we turn on the camera
So
till
they
we turn it off.
That's cool.
That's what's posted to
That's
show
cool.
people like this is what the field is real.
And also, like, what
you
kind of
know?
work goes into it? It's not just, you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
people just think you just turn on the cameras and stuff just happens.
And then
Right.
my other question is like, I mean, I know there's an EMF reader, but what other type of tools do you guys?
So this is my favorite part of the
Yeah.
group and why I'm the tech manager. We have, and I can safely say this, the most equipment out of any paranormal team probably in the world.
Right.
We use anything from EMF to radio frequency, Geiger counter, static electricity. We use your instrumental
use, like, thermal?
transcommunication. We use thermal vision. We have black and white UV, FLIR,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
full spectrum cameras.
The full spectrum's cool because you can really pick up a lot of different
Yes.
things on that.
And all of it, you know, thermometers, and all of it has its specific purpose of why we would use it
And they
in
all
the
come
field.
together and form like
Yeah.
Voltrons.
Yep.
Now, what would you say gets the most readings? Like, what would be the most, like, the equipment that works the best?
The equipment that works the best for me personally, I really like the natural tri-field meter. So it's an EMF meter that only picks up on natural EMF based off the frequency of the EMF that's being split out. So like a lot of EMF meters, what a lot of these shows don't tell you is they'll pick up radio frequencies. So I can, like the K2 that you see all the time, it's that little gray triangular box with the lights. I can sit there with a walkie-talkie and make the lights
Trigger.
dance as much as I
Oh,
want.
so that's, I see what you're saying.
But with the natural tri-field, it's not going to pick
It's
up
not picking
on
up any of
those.
those
It's
readings,
only
like-
natural
Yes.
EMF. So it's one of the more believable ones that we really have. I don't know if you have a different answer, Mike.
I always say Geiger counters. You know, people like, why the hell use Geiger counters in the paranormal field? They detect radiation.
Yeah.
And we have a couple different kinds. Ones that detect gamma radiation, gamma beta. And I always say nothing can set that off. Like EMF, you can literally throw a magnet next to it. The needle's not going to go off. It's not going to give you any readings. You can hit it with different radio frequencies. Nothing's going to set it off. So if you're out in the field and that goes off, why?
You know 100%.
What is setting? What is giving off gamma or beta radiation? So I
never
love
thought
that
about
stuff.
that.
Yeah, it's wild, and it's crazy because it's few and far between. But being around for 23 years, we've had our instances where Geiger counters have gone off for no reason, and we're sitting there scratching our head.
And
Like,
what do they just set off for a moment and then go back?
yeah, depending on which one we have. Like we have a civil defense Geiger counter. It's from like the Cold War.
Really?
It's a
Oh.
big yellow lunchbox, and for that thing to go off, it would just the needle would max out, come back, and then just drop down and just chill there. And it was just like,
Now-
what sets that off?
Yeah, that's wild.
It's weird. Yeah.
We would love to come on a fucking ghost hunt.
Oh, dude, I've been trying to do like a
I'm
real one.
just
Like, we've
saying.
been trying to do with Ouija boards. I've got stuff on my phone. Like you said, it picks up anything, like the EMF reader.
Yeah.
Like I notice if I'm walking by something, I'm like, all right, this is it. The only time in Florida, I was at a place, and I didn't know. Well, I kept getting a hit on this couch, and I'm like, I just thought, because it was next to the TV.
Okay.
Then I was asking somebody who lived there, like, oh no, somebody died on that couch, and it kept reading. So I guess the stuff on the phone, but like I saw it picking up other things, but it did pick up. I don't know if a spirit was there, but somebody did overdose and die on the couch.
Interesting.
That was right there, and then picked it
So,
up.
how about spots out of Long Island?
Oh yeah, we travel.
Have you ever been to like Gettysburg?
We love getting
I heard that.
Every-
Because I
there's
was
so
going
many
to say, if
spirits
there's
out
a
there.
haunted place,
Yeah.
I would imagine it's
Probably
there.
3 times a
The
year
amount of
we're at
people that
Gettysburg.
die.
At minimum. I mean,
Yeah.
I was there back in, what was it, like February? I think February I was there three times that month. 3 weekends in that month I was there. We didn't investigate because we were just too cold.
Oh,
But I go there all the time. We have a lot of, I think we have 110 different sites in Gettysburg.
Really?
So we broke up the battlefield. Because like, if you say, I'm just going to investigate Gettysburg battlefield, people don't realize like how big that
Yeah, it's a
battlefield
huge
is.
thing,
It's,
yeah.
it's miles long. It's not like a football field size
Right.
thing.
It's not like you're doing a house.
No,
Yeah.
it's so we broke it up into different sections because if we do get evidence from there, it would be like, this is where we got it from.
Yes,
Right.
exact spot. Yeah.
So
Right.
we've gotten some really cool stuff there. Everything from cannon fire, gunshots caught.
Oh
Really cool photos, like photography that we can't explain. A lot of audio evidence as well, and then ton of personal experiences.
Right.
Like, it's just that there's so much stuff. Video. I always say with video, if you capture something on video, play lotto. I have a better chance of winning
Yeah,
Powerball.
that
than
was my next
capturing
question. Like,
it.
I'm sorry, but like,
Yeah.
there was one thing. I forget what they're called. Mindseed TV. I don't know if you ever heard of them. They're YouTube. They picked up, and I don't know if it's real, but this is the most clearest one I've ever seen. I've been watching this since the 2000s. It was this lady got her head cut off in the lake. Anyway, so they're doing a Ouija board, and this is like the same thing with you guys. They were in a horse stable, and the whole building shook.
Interesting.
It's just two guys. It's just
Right.
two guys. It's a real low channel, but they were by the lake and doing the Ouija board, and the camera set up behind them. You see the lake, you could see the water move, and you could see her. Like, it almost looked like the girl from The Ring.
Interesting.
But like, it was clear. I'll show it to you after.
Right,
You can be the
right.
judge because I know
Sure,
you guys
sure.
have a better eye for
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Because you get, with internet, you get kind of.
It's tough, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it also seems you guys got a pretty good big team. I mean, you got a medium,
Oh,
a
yeah.
psychic, you know what I mean?
We have
Like,
35 members right
Yeah,
now. So,
that's great.
We have a large.
Yeah, I feel like the mediums, the psychics also.
So, because
help
that's what
tie it
I
in.
mean. That's something I want to ask Bianca when she comes in because that's a whole different. You guys use tools or whatever,
Correct.
and she, if you believe in it,
But also, then you could tie the two together.
That's
what
that's
the
where
word
we go.
is.
That's what we're
tandem.
trying to do. We're trying to, by
Bridge the
us
gap.
using psychics, we're trying to take that and use it as scientific.
Yes.
So you could give a psychic. I always say it. Give a psychic a camera, and they're going to get more than me because I'm just out there taking random photos.
Yeah, well, look at the
But
story
they're
you
going
told.
with
psychics
how
are going to go with the
Because,
purpose.
yeah, I mean, she was telling you that.
So we had that happen with
Yes.
another psychic in our group, Michelle. We first got body cams. They're strapped to you, and we're at Hang Tree in Patchogue, and she felt something near the woods, so she kind of went over there and just looking to see if she could pick up on anything.
Where's this? Hey, because I'm from
Off
Bedford.
of I think it's off of Grove.
Yes.
Oh,
Grove
down
Avenue.
on the left.
Yeah,
Those
yep,
woods.
Yep,
We
those
used to
that
call
patch of
40
woods.
acres back
Yeah,
in the
40
day.
acres. Yep, same
Yeah,
thing.
we used to
same
get
thing.
so drunk.
Yeah.
Oh God, it was a problem.
Yep.
Okay.
So, but when she was doing the analysis, she remembered that she felt something in those woods, so she paid close attention, and sure enough, you see a figure behind a tree poke its head out and come back in. If I was doing the analysis, I would have never picked up on it. The
Right.
fact that she felt something and then remembered it, so she paid really close attention. She picked it
Oh,
up
no
and was
question.
showing us.
Because
It's
I just
cool.
want to talk. Because I
Sure.
keep going to my head. Remember the pictures you had them draw? What was the entity, if you remember?
The name?
The name.
I won't say it.
Okay.
I don't like saying.
Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah,
That's why. I know.
don't-
I know about not saying. it,
Yeah,
so
I don't say the names for multiple purposes, but also it's like once you know the name, you're never going to forget it. And then if you constantly think about it,
I have a name that somebody told. I was supposed to say it out loud, and I said it out loud, and the girl was like, "You idiot! Like,
Yeah,
why'd you just do
yeah.
that?" And now it stays in my brain. I said it to
But
you.
It also, I mean, isn't it almost inviting too?
exactly.
That's
So
why.
yeah,
Yeah, you're not supposed to say it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, also, like, do you guys get worried? Because I mean, I don't know what happened to me that one time, but like, stuff does come back. I've always heard stories of
Oh,
like
yeah.
attachments.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
do you guys do
Absolutely.
anything to prevent that, or?
Stage cleanses.
We
You
we
guys do
try. I mean, everyone's got their own. I'm Catholic, so I'm going to do my own thing. I
Yeah.
would never force what my thing is on the
Okay,
rest of my
right.
team.
That makes sense,
Everyone's
yeah.
we're a
Whatever your
very
beliefs
diverse
are,
group.
just roll
exactly.
with it,
So I
okay.
always say, just do your own thing in your own way. And a lot of times that works. That's
whatever
not to
ritual
say
it is for
that.
them.
Yeah.
Right, but that's not to say that something's going to follow us home. I think every one of us had something follow us home. Shannon, I think she got the brunt of it the most. She had a major attachment.
She probably feels the most of those.
Yeah, I mean, she,
like
she
different-
went into Halsey House and she got an attachment from that back in October of 2019, and that's still with her today. Wow. 6 years later, 7 years later.
Listen,
And,
I didn't believe it until it happened to me, man. That ooh, it's rough. It's
It
rough.
is.
It's
It's
draining.
real.
That was the worst time period
Sure.
ever.
Yep.
It's it's so fascinating, just ghost hunting. Period. And to even like how long you been doing it?
I've been in it for 23 years.
23 years.
I know.
And to like make a life out of it,
Yeah.
and have a team of 35 people.
Yep.
Like it's something that like, a lot of people are interested.
Yeah, a lot of
in.
people talk about doing it. It's
Right.
one thing. It's like us doing a podcast. Everybody talks about doing it. It's just
Right,
one thing
yeah.
doing it and
Sure, of
talking
course.
shit.
Absolutely.
So,
Sure.
do you guys have like, what's the next, I guess, hunt or investigation you guys got coming up?
We have, I mean, our next really, I mean, we have a house investigation tonight that these guys are going on. But our next big trip is going to be Penhurst Asylum, but at the end of July.
Okay.
Yeah, end of July.
Where's
gonna
that at?
It's Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Penhurst State School, whatever it is. I think that's our third
Third
time.
time.
being
When
there,
I was
so-
I was locked up for a little bit, right? And I did a parole violation at this place called Willard, right?
Willard.
And it's called Willard Psychiatric
I
Center.
feel like I've heard of that.
It used to be a psychiatric center, then they
Yeah.
made it into like a 90-day state-ran program.
Okay.
Now it's closed.
Right,
But there's
right.
a book on about it called Suitcases in the Attic, right? And there's certain like parts of it that would just shut off to all of us, right?
Right.
And it was a guy's facility. And like I remember one day I was going to smoke a cigarette in the bathroom, and you're not supposed to do that, but I see like a doctor in a lab coat just like going to, there was a boarded up room, just going to the room, and CEO's sitting at his desk, and I'm
Right.
looking at him, he's looking at me, and did you see that?
Right.
He was like, just keep it moving, man. Just keep it moving. Just like weird things like that, or like
Yeah.
a scream in the middle of the night.
Sure.
Like just
Yep.
so it's fascinating about how many places are haunted. I mean, just Long Island alone. Have you guys ever like been to the Amityville Horror House?
So that's a tough one.
We already did that one, right? Because I remember after the movie we went there and I was like, oh,
It's a
something
private
different.
residence.
Yeah,
Right.
it's like in a
Or
residential
like
neighborhood.
Wardenclyffe.
Yeah, Tesla.
Yep.
Yeah, we do Tesla.
Yeah, we do
Halloween,
public
we do
events
public
at Tesla Science Center
Really?
every year. We've done it for the last 2 or 3 years, and we've
Yeah.
caught some very interesting stuff there.
Yeah.
Pretty cool there. Yeah.
Now let me ask you, like, if you're in a place like a prison, is that more negative? Because I mean, me and him in the prison, it's a lot of negative shit. I mean,
Sure,
not a lot of
sure, yeah.
positive going on in there.
Right,
I mean,
right. I
or like
mean-
a psych ward where back in the day we used to do
I
like a
would
bottom
say
and stuff.
I guess it depends on like what part of the prison.
Okay.
I mean, I know we did was it Crescent Sanatorium in prison a couple years back. We did West Virginia Penitentiary a few years back, and I remember we have a guy in our group. He works for Customs.
Okay.
So he was in one of the cell blocks, and he was saying, all right, guys, I work for the Customs. I'm part of like police,
Yeah.
and you hear an EVP. He didn't hear it at the time, but you hear like what sounds like somebody go.
Oh, yeah.
like spitting on him. Like you hear it, and it's just like holy shit, you know, like
That's
really
wild.
cool. So that's kind of like an
Yeah, I'm sure you guys pick up now when you guys go back and look at all the footage. Is there stuff obviously you pick up later and when you go back? Yeah, I'm sure in the moment you can only catch so much.
Yeah, it's you know, we don't with our recorders too. You'll see a lot of times on the TV, like they'll do a session, they'll stop the recorder. We don't.
Oh, you guys keep it
never
rolling?
stop the
always run.
recorder. We run it all the time. So if we're there for 6 hours, they're running 6 hours straight. We don't, because the minute you stop that, if something's talking, you just cut it off.
That's right. Or
Yeah,
or
I
if
know.
you stop at that second, something happens right after. You're like, oh wait.
Exactly.
Now I've been doing a new thing where I'll actually bring 2 digital recorders. So one I'll keep continuously running, and then one I'll do like every 3 minute sessions of start and stop it.
Okay.
But
Okay.
there's always that one backup just
Yeah.
to make sure it's continuing.
Have you ever thought about like when you do these things, like to go live like on Twitch or something?
We've done.
Because I imagine there's people all over that would just sit and watch.
Oh yeah, no, we've done a couple of like live streams on like Facebook and Instagram. We do like a session. We'll have people like write in the comments like, "Hey, do you want us to ask any questions?" They'll type.
Oh,
in
that's
the
cool.
rest
Like
of
an
the
interactive
Kind
thing.
of,
Yeah.
exactly. It's just by doing that, unfortunately, when you go live, you have to be careful with what equipment you're using because when we investigate,
Right,
our phones are either off or on airplane mode.
And then also too is you're not going to catch everything if you're looking at
Right,
the comments and
right.
this. You're not catching what's going on.
Exactly,
And plus, you know, different when you watch a video like that, you go back and you guys break it down. Live, you're not gonna. They're not gonna pick up it versus same with you guys. Not gonna pick up on
Do you
stuff.
guys do you have like a dream destination of what you would like to investigate? I know you do. You've been doing
If
it
you
for
had
3
so
years.
many-
You got
If
it.
you asked me tomorrow, it'd probably be something different. But I think if I had to pick one spot right now, I think the pyramids would be probably
Oh,
one of
yeah,
the
that would be
sickest
dope.
things. You know, like
I feel like that's a.
That would be cool, or
I know you-
the pyramids.
I got it.
The
I got a
Aztec
bunch.
pyramids.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always wanted to go into the suicide forest in Japan.
Oh,
I think
the
that
one
would
with,
be
what's his
really
face was
cool.
that? Yeah, Logan
Yep.
Paul was that.
And just to bring it up because I love his other answer is to bring up the Titanic and
that
where
would be
that sank, just to take a
Yeah.
boat out to where that sank and do like.
You
an
know why they don't want nobody
investigation
investigating that? I'll tell you why. Because that was a bomb that went off in that ship.
all the conspiracy theories with that.
Listen,
yeah.
well, I'm gonna explain why. Because the Federal Reserve, the people that could have stopped that were on that boat.
On that boat.
You're telling me,
They-
and
they
that's
were gonna-
why you noticed.
They were going to keep it gold.
No, but hold on. You know when the movie came out is when they started trying to look for the wreckage. That's why the movie came out.
Right.
So now, if they went down there and investigated, and then then the movie came out. So
right.
now everybody's gonna use the movie as like a documentary.
That's what I was going to bring up next because earlier you said you were fascinated with ghosts and like, conspiracy theories. So like,
Sure.
what's your go-to conspiracy theory?
I call truth seeking. I hate that word
Yeah,
conspiracy.
I mean, because I sell gold and silver for a living, right?
Yeah.
And I talk to my clients all the time, and they're like, why should I invest in gold? And I was like, well, gold is just weird, one of those weird things. And for some reason, I lead in with this. For some reason, we all agreed as humanity that gold is worth something.
Right.
But where did that come from? And then I bring in the Anunnaki into that, right? They say that the Anunnaki had genetically modified us to mine gold for them for their atmosphere. So if breaking that down through years, it may make sense to be like, well, this has to be worth something because
Right.
it just breaks down.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I got a lot of clients to buy just off that pitch alone.
Right.
But it's an actual fact that one of our chromosomes were genetically modified to put telomere caps. I think our 13th chromosome.
Really?
Yeah, and scientists say it's a mutation, but humanity hasn't been alive enough.
Right.
Alive long enough for this mutation to take place.
It's interesting.
So I mean, I'm one of those, like, I grew up Catholic too, but like I don't believe Jesus was a white guy,
Right.
just going off
Sure.
where it was.
Where it was,
I mean,
exactly.
that don't make
No,
sense.
yeah, no,
But
exactly.
but also like the Anunnaki, it makes sense. You know what I mean? Just piecing it together. But what's your favorite conspiracy theory? Well, but my first question is, what do you think happened during 9/11?
That was the one I was going to talk about. It's a
Oh,
tough
shit,
one.
I might be a psychic.
It's a tough one to talk about because what happened that day was a tragedy. There's no doubt.
100%.
People died. Yes,
Yeah, of course.
right. But for what we're being told to what I believe happened is two very different things.
Oh,
But
I mean,
I think it's
totally.
what a lot of people. I mean,
Listen, I almost get to fist fights with people
Building
at work.
seven.
Same.
Building seven. I mean,
Building
Building
just
Building
Joe,
7,
the BBC's
you know.
like this. BBC's like
Yeah.
Building 7 falls. Building 7's right behind her. Building 7 had all the documents.
but also
for
the way it fell was a controlled demonstration.
So
everything felt like that.
we've
Everything.
been to the 9/11 Museum in Manhattan. We've been to the Flight 93 spot in Pennsylvania, and one of our guys in the group, Tom, he worked in the Trade Center. He was there that day. I've had another member in the past that worked downtown Manhattan as well that day. So you get the insight of people that actually work in the
Yes.
buildings, you know. And it's just a lot of things. And if you can take one of those things that happened that day, question it, and say doesn't seem right about it, the rest of it falls in line.
I got like 100 different
So,
things.
There's
Like,
a bunch.
Even if
about
you just go
murders?
off the hold on. If you just go off the police and firemen, right? Just off them,
Yep.
they said
Oh, yeah.
off of building 2, because building 1 obviously. Bombs went off in the basement. People got blown through walls. They had a thing with Congress. Like, first off, then they had CIA pilots testifying in court saying this is impossible.
Right.
Plane that big to get that, because the instruments won't let you get like that. Because it'll just kick in autopilot. I mean, whatever. It will not let you control a plane. Then if you look at the first testimony from the people that were there, they said they seen a plane, which it could have been.
They suppressed a lot.
It could have been a drone, or it could have been, we have
Right.
hard-light constructs we could put in. And they said they had no windows, because it's all about
I've heard about
no
that.
windows and the bowed-out bottoms, which are military planes. And then also, they talk about, I forgot the name of the documentary I've seen, where the cops and firemen you can see the detonation.
Yeah, I've heard
All
of, yeah,
four
that's-
pillars
yeah.
are cut like this
No,
now.
well, that's the whole thing. They suppressed a lot of like the firemen.
They did, yeah.
Of
Like-
course, but you got to catch it in the beginning. It's the first before everybody gets their stories together.
Correct.
Like they found the passports of the hijackers.
We saw them on
Yeah.
display.
Yes.
And I'm like, you can't get the black
the best
boxes
part is-
of any of those
Yes.
planes that are supposed to withstand
Well, it's
that.
also the
But
whole
the
thing. It's
passport.
the whole thing. I mean, then they want to blame it. I mean,
Well, no. It gets,
Osama bin Laden was a CIA tactician.
well, the best part about the thing is, I saw this documentary that they found the actual people. And they're alive. They work for U.S. military installations.
That's crazy.
17 of the hijackers, like, I don't know why my name's up there. Then there's a picture with them and Dick Cheney.
Wow.
So I got to figure out the name of it. But like this guy breaks down every part. All four pillars are cut like this. Like control. There was an Israel security team that took over weeks before because it takes weeks to
that's
set
the
that
thing
up.
too, right? So I mean, the conflict that's going on in the Middle East now. My belief is Israel's been a puppeteer for our politicians for a while, right? JFK died because he won whatever AIPAC was to register as a foreign law.
Well, there was
They
a couple
killed
things
him.
why they wanted to kill
They
him.
killed him, right? And also he wanted to go back to the.
Yeah, he was going
back
after
on the gold
everybody.
standard.
He was going after CIA.
But
everybody.
Israel was also involved with Jeffrey, which is why those files got suppressed. And just all along the line, 9/11, Charlie Kirk.
All that stuff. Yeah. I mean, I don't think we're ever going to. I think
the
there's
truth.
such a bigger power out there that controls everything where everyone's like, well, what about this? What about this? And it's just like, you're never going to truly know because
Which is-
the amount of power that's
But also,
holding
people
on
got to
to
realize
that,
it's not
just-
about religions or countries.
I
The
don't
elite,
know that.
well, above all that, they don't care about that. So there's never a
Well,
religion war because the
Well,
real elite don't care about any of
it's-
that.
It's like I said last week, right? Ghislaine Maxwell, the one that was running with Jeffrey, right? Her father's Robert Maxwell. And Robert Maxwell owned a printing company, a printing press. And he printed the books McGraw-Hill, which are the textbooks we all grew up reading.
Yep.
But the people that owned McGraw-Hill were the Rothschilds, right? So they picked what they wanted. They wanted to grow employees, worker bees.
Yeah, he also did a lot of work
You
with
know
Mother
what I mean?
Teresa, which
Yeah.
fill in the blanks with that.
And, like I drive, like I stopped going to high school. You know what I mean? And then I ended up getting homeschooled. Like teachers would come to my house,
Sure.
and I learned very very well that way. And I do, I
Right.
can learn well, but I think on a whole, like I feel like the education system wants you to think within this box.
I agree. Yeah.
And if you think outside the box, they're almost like, "Yo, I can't compute. What are you talking about?"
Right.
You know, because they want to tell you go to college and go work for somebody. You know, and those are like the two ideals.
course,
I feel
bro.
Like
Of
Democrat and
course.
Republican. Republicans are like
all
be a
shit.
business. Democrats
It's all
are be
bullshit.
like, trust the government. Trust the government. Right. And those are the two. So what about aliens?
aliens.
Oh, I love Mike's take on aliens.
Yes, okay, I'm a big
I
alien guy
love
too.
aliens.
All right,
I'm a
I
big
could go
alien
back
guy.
and forth all day
Have
about
you guys-
aliens.
You guys saw my logo, right?
It,
my logo.
Oh
A little
no!
bit of everything.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
So aliens, it does fascinate me, but it also scares the shit out of me. growing up as a kid, Fire in the Sky came out, I want to say in like 1991, 92. I was 11 years old. My dad took me to see that in the movie theaters. And that movie is based off of Travis Walton and his alien abduction out in Snowflake, Arizona. It's based off of a true story. And you watch that movie, especially as a kid, I had nightmares for months. I mean, it was so bad. And then around that time, you had the paranormal shows that were out, were called Sightings and Encounters.
Yes,
it was all about UFOs, alien abductions.
I love it because they all tied it all in together. That's why I love
such
it.
a
Yeah.
good
so
show.
crazy.
Yes.
And it's very hard to say that we're the only life out there in the universe,
That would
you
be
know,
very
and that's where
naive.
religion kind of offsets it. They say no, you can't believe that, but I'm like, well, out of the entire universe, why would we be the only life? And if there is a God, who's to say that he or whatever didn't create other
Exactly.
life?
That's why
What's so wrong about
religion's
saying
here to
that?
control that narrative.
Like, what's so
that's what I
wrong to
think.
say that?
Well, there's
So-
also like certain things, like even the Bible doesn't bring up dinosaurs, but you go to any museum and there's dinosaur
there.
bones.
And I think
exactly.
You know what I mean?
dinosaurs has
So-
been skewed, but
But,
that
but
really
then
happened.
there's also a theory that dinosaur bones were manufactured or whatever.
A lot of them are. What's your takes?
On aliens
Yeah.
or dinosaurs?
No. Screw dinosaurs.
Screw dinosaurs?
Screw dinosaurs. Jurassic Park.
No,
fucking
there
destroy
has to
that.
be. In the wide, vast universe, there's got to be some type of aliens. I personally don't believe they've actually physically been here. I think maybe they are kind of like flying by and looking at us and going, maybe not go down there.
We have
but-
a theory that, well, I'm pretty sure I could speak for both of us that they're here.
Yes, they've been here, and
I've
I
heard
think
that.
if you
And-
really
and
want to
on
know
our-
who controls the narrative, there's a bunch of different races, like the reptilian Draco.
The
that's-
reptilians.
Heard about
But
that.
the
Then
reptilians
there's
are
aquatics.
the reptilians are like the lower class. The Draco, the white dwarf, that's like who runs the
Right.
show. And we actually have a space program called Dark Fleet that works with them. That goes to other galaxies because not every.
Well, there's the whole thing about stargates.
Oh well,
know.
there's that's why a lot of the Middle East wars were fought, not because of oil. What I was heard was over natural portals and stuff that
Interesting.
is in that area, which no money or nothing can take that. So like, if you control that area, you have, say, there's a portal to Mars, portal to the moon. That's why you ever seen the show Missing 411?
No.
Okay, so it goes on national parks. This guy does investigations of
Okay.
people that just vanished, and a lot of them are German descent with some like are physicists or this or kids.
Interesting.
I'm talking about the trackers, and then there'll always be like FBI there, CIA, or some like CERT team with like automatic. So with these, there's a lot of there's natural portals that people just walk and just boom, wherever you go,
Right,
you go.
right.
And then like there was this one case, this kid. They were playing hide and seek. It was like a couple families around. The kid goes like 30 feet behind a tree, and now behind him is like a mountain, and then like there's a trail like this. Dad goes behind the tree, kid's gone. Right? So fast forward, I think 7 years later, these guys are going hiking. Now across the park, national park.
Right.
Across the park, they're going up like this stone wall like this. You know, it's pretty advanced. These guys are, obviously they do this all the time. They found his clothes folded up with the skull and teeth like that. And the dad, they brought the dad the clothes, and it was like, this is exactly what he was wearing that day. This is 7 years later. There was no rips, no tears, no blood, no DNA, nothing.
Wow.
Wild.
That's
And now this happens all the time. National parks are always heard because they have DUMBs. You don't know if you heard of DUMBs, deep underground military bases.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So they're always correlated to national parks.
Interesting.
Like I know this guy who does remote viewing, and he was looking into Bigfoot.
That's a weird thing.
And they were looking at
Yeah,
Bigfoot like migrating, and they said it was mostly because of food. Like they go in packs and food, but he says there was a fire, I forget where it was, and our government, a special agency, relocated them. So they know of them. It just really,
Interesting.
like they know about us. They look at us like very warring species, so they stay away. But like they use natural portals to bounce around too.
I've heard a lot about that.
Well,
stuff,
I mean,
yeah.
there's like a lot of weird things, right? Like the what was it, the Manhattan Project or the
Oh, yeah.
Philadelphia experiment?
Oh, that's
about,
how.
Camp Hero,
about
yeah.
the ship. Right?
USS
They made the
Eldridge.
ship
Yeah, yeah.
disappear,
Oh,
came
yeah.
back and they were embedded in the hull.
Sure.
Like
Oh,
that's
yeah.
weird stuff.
You ever heard of Preston Nichols?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I was just watching something about that last night. Somebody actually remote viewed him and said
Interesting.
some of the stuff is in subconscious. Like basically, like some of the things he believed, he actually turned into reality.
Wow.
You know, with the work he does.
Sure.
So they don't know. They can't tell if certain things really happened, or that's his subconscious. You know, with
Right.
Duncan, they were using the shit. Oh, it's crazy.
Yep. That's like Camp Hero. I mean,
Yes, that's
we like I said, I had two of our investigators in there twice in the past like 6 months, and They were in there for a short period of time, maybe like 45 minutes to an hour, and they caught some wild audio evidence.
Well, they did
that's
a
just
lot
like,
of weird.
So what I heard was they set up with that satellite dish on the top. So they had an alien chair, and they would put like a psychic or a kid
I've
with
heard
heightened
about
abilities.
that,
So like
yes.
Duncan, who fell off the ship, who ended up there, they would take like the standardized testing, and they would find kids that hit whatever the questions were. They bring them there. So like they would use that to amplify, but they would record them, their brain waves. So say they weren't there, they could play that.
That was like an offshoot of MK Ultra.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
So they could actually play. They actually, with their computers, they could take whatever he would look at, and then they would copy that, and then if he wasn't there, use that still. So they were running it for 7 days straight. And then they opened a portal that they could not close. Something came through.
Something came through,
They
yep.
literally were destroying. They had to destroy everything for it to stop. But something came through. I don't know. One thing came through. A couple things came through. But
Yeah, Stranger Things. I mean, that's
Yeah,
where that
yeah,
whole thing
that's where
comes
the
from.
Demogorgon
Well,
comes
that's
from.
Junior.
Yes.
That's what they call
Yeah,
the thing at Camp Hero.
yes.
And
It's wild the
Yeah.
history Long Island has. Period.
it's crazy. I mean, they have a place in, I think it's Sayville or Oakdale, called Telefunken. Not a lot of people know about it.
What
it's
is
a,
that?
It's a World War II German communications base.
Really?
That was right in there. Yeah, it's the buildings are gone, but the pillars to the towers are still there. They have these huge cement pillars that held this, like, on top of that used to be this huge communication tower that shot up about 50, 60 feet in the air. That's gone, but like the land is still there, and you're not supposed to go.
Because people don't realize
we've gone in
with
there.
Paperclip, when we had Project Paperclip, we took all their scientists and we let them run wild. Like they could go wherever we didn't say, all right, you guys are designated to this area. Don't leave. We're gonna watch you. So like they got like it was
just
always
fresh.
told like you ever seen Captain America,
yeah.
Winter
Yeah.
Soldier, Hydras everywhere. That's what they did. Basically infiltrated the country
Right.
and every aspect.
Sure.
From
Stan
NASA
Lee
to
took a lot of like
yeah,
things that go
he
on
knew
between
something.
the cabal,
The Illuminati.
Oh, yeah.
all that.
There's
Yeah.
so much.
Now,
stuff.
my question back to the ghost hunting.
Sure.
How, like, I always want to ask about the darker side of things, like the demonic parts. Like, you smell the sulfur. Like,
Yeah.
Now, how many places where you guys were there and you're like, all right, something like a bed, you could feel like a bed vibe
I
or.
wouldn't say a lot. I mean, it happens, but I think the group itself, our organization, has well over 1,000 investigations, and they're documented. We have 1,000 field reports of this stuff, And if you look through them, I would say on a demonic level, 2 off the top would be Mount Misery and Halsey House, I think. I really don't know of any other ones.
There was maybe one house case
Maybe a
years
house
ago.
case. Yeah, there was one house case that I remember that. It
but-
was in Eastport.
Okay, out east, right?
So,
Yeah.
So you
That was
guys
pretty
sometimes get a call from like a homeowner
Sure.
saying, "Listen, I
Yeah.
know something's going
Oh,
on."
yeah.
We're
That-
actually doing it tonight.
That's
We're gonna have a
actually
house
cool
case,
because
so.
now you get to either validate them, but also it's not where a million people been before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're not picking up. Everybody's been to certain places, a prison,
right,
here a million
sure.
times, like the Annabelle, the stupid house with the doll. But like, going to somebody's house,
Yeah.
that's like fresh. You guys are the first ones there.
Even like on Long Island, like we investigate a lot of like county parks. And people are like,
Really?
oh, that's
Yes.
haunted, and we're like, we don't know. Let's find out. And
That's awesome.
believe it
A
or not,
lot of
like,
our locations are
Yeah.
literally us doing day trips, trying to find these locations,
Uh-huh.
passing a park and going, I think we can safely trespass in there without getting caught.
That's even
And
better.
just
Yeah,
going.
yeah, yeah.
And
Right.
sometimes we get nothing, and then sometimes it turns into one of our craziest locations.
Because spirits are they're everywhere.
Yeah.
So like, who really? I mean,
well, I mean, I also
you guys have the equipment to.
I
weed it
also
out.
say too, like on Long Island, like it's so developed, and it's like, well, why did you choose that spot of land to make a county park? What
Yes.
was there?
Like the national
right.
park,
when you
same
go
thing.
over by like. Yeah, I mean,
You
there's
know what-
so many spots, like even Brookhaven National Labs.
Right.
yes.
Right
So-
next to that, there's a huge parkland. You can't go in.
You know what? I'm
Department
gonna,
of Energy
I'm
owns
gonna,
it.
I'm gonna
You know,
explain
it's
something
like-
to you. I lived in Mastic right over
Oh,
there,
okay,
right?
yeah.
This house was the most freak. Okay, so I was telling him, I don't know, it was like 2 episodes ago. So my ex-wife she went on vacation. She's big with spiritual stuff. So I didn't know this at the time. She said, talking to spirits, which I thought was crazy at the time. She said, I didn't know this. She said, if he does anything stupid, which I was selling drugs, or trying to make a little extra money, she said, mess with them. So we're in this house in Mastic. Her sister used to live there. They moved to Mill Place. And so I'm sitting there, and we had a puppy at the time. And the puppy all sounds like to my leg, like shaking. All of a sudden, upstairs, I hear boom, boom, boom. I thought it was our nephew. He went to William Floyd.
Okay.
He would stop by the house sometimes on the way home from school. He drove. I run upstairs. I'm screaming his name, Joe, Joe. I go upstairs, nothing. As soon as I go upstairs, the cabinet starts shutting. I'm talking about slamming. I've seen stuff over the years, but this is slam. To the point, me and the dog slept in the car. This was going on. All glasses would fall off the counter. This was all. And then she came home. She told me what happened. But like, I'm talking about like slamming, like stuff where I wish I would have recorded it. But like at the time, I was freaked out. Like even the dogs. The dog would bark at anything. The dog was shaking, like
That's
petrified.
crazy. Wow.
Well, back to the Brookhaven thing. There was a UFO crash light there.
South Haven County Park.
I
yeah.
looked at the radiation of cancer.
Okay.
It goes from that. It's so concentrated. As you get, it spreads. Everybody in that area has got cancer, and it just goes bigger and bigger.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So like, 'cause, UFO crash sites and that whole area is concentrated with cancer.
Sure.
So you being from Ronkonkoma, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's the story of the lady of
Yep.
Ronkonkoma,
Lake Ronkonkoma,
right?
yeah.
With the lake?
The
Yep.
lake.
Yep,
takes-
Lake
I thought that was
Ronkonkoma.
like a.
That the lake.
Oh,
takes
that's a real thing?
That's a real
That the
thing.
lake
Yeah,
takes a
yeah,
male a
yeah.
year.
Sure.
Now it's close to that.
It's for
Pretty
for a
pretty
while
close.
like it was happening,
But
and
then
then
they
like
stopped letting
for like a
people go in.
2 or 3 year span, it like stopped, and then I want to say about maybe 3-4 years ago, it started back up again.
Well,
Like,
that's
some of
because
the
that's
guys
because
in
they,
the
I
lake,
believe
yeah.
they stopped allowing from people to swim in it for that time.
Probably, yeah, probably. I mean, I still wouldn't swim. in
Now,
that.
neither would I.
You know,
but have
but-
you ever investigated that area?
Oh,
Yes.
I was gonna say they
Um,
definitely probably.
So years ago, that was one of our first sites.
Yeah,
in
it's right
2003.
there, right?
Our co-founder Rob Levine, his parents owned a house on like a cul-de-sac, and they owned all the property from their backyard to the lake. So we would just walk in his backyard and investigate the lake, and it was really cool. We caught some pretty cool evidence, audio evidence. We did a camp out one night there, and we used to have these motion sensors where you would set the sensor and you would hold the box. And I remember we were just chilling like on the beach area, and we hear the thing go off, and we're like, "That's the motion sensor." We just run over to it, and we shoved it in between like these two trees, and when we got to it, the sensor box was lifted up. So I was like, "What the hell? What could it have been an animal? Sure, it could have been, but
To
it was
move
just
a box
weird.
like that,
It was just like we shoved it in that tree, and but we've caught some pretty cool stuff there. Yeah.
Has there ever been a spot, because you guys bring a psychic, has there ever been a spot that you guys went to and the psychic was off rip, like, I don't want to be here?
I'm trying to think. I mean, there's been times where they might step away. I remember years ago, Shannon, we were at Fort William Henry in Lake George. It was her first time going there, and there was a massacre that happened at that fort. She didn't know that, and we walked in the courtyard, and she stops and just starts bawling her eyes out. She's like, "I gotta take a step out. I feel so many different
much
emotions, you know." And she was out for about maybe 5-10 minutes, and she came back in, and she was fine. But I don't think any of our psychics would ever just be like, "I'm not going."
No,
you know,
I think it really depends on like the time that we're going to that location. I mean, there's been locations everybody walks in all fine, and then we'll go into that same location for the 8th time, and then all of a sudden you can feel something's different about that location. I know Sag Manor was one of them where we investigated that like 5 or 6 times, and you catch a little bit here and there, but one night we were doing an overnight, and you walk in there and you could feel like there's
feel
a
the
heaviness there.
presence,
You can feel the
yes.
energy, and all of a sudden we started getting equipment hit after equipment hit after equipment hit. I mean, like, we have just like a normal compass, just regular compass, and the thing just started spinning like crazy.
Wow.
We've been there
wild.
like 12 times.
Now let me ask
before
you a question
there.
about equipment. I always seen on shows them get drained, like if it's battery and
Yes.
stuff. Like, so what
So-
is that? What causes that?
So, in theory, what a spirit is doing is it's taking the energy out of that product to
Siphoning.
help it self-manifest.
Okay.
That's how it's manifesting. So we always hear that too. So we
Yeah.
actually have our own device that Liffey created, Mike actually created, called the Energy Loss Meter.
I was just about to ask you that.
And basically, all it is, it's a box with a 9-volt battery attached and a needle. And you set it up, you flip the switch, it reads 9 volts, and we go, hey, if you need energy, drain it
That's
from
so
this
great.
battery.
I was always saying, why does somebody not build like a thing like
Exactly, because like you hear it
Revolutionize
about the,
that.
that?
the cameras and everything.
Yes, I always heard them
but-
like, why don't they have a device to see like this
Yep.
is getting drained like that?
We have it. We actually have. We sell them. And,
That's awesome.
You know, it's an analog too, so it's not like digital or anything
Yeah.
like that. And people look at me like, that's nice. And the problem is, you can't fake it,
No, you can't.
so nobody wants it.
I want to get
When
one.
you look at all the paranormal, like you go on any website, and look at all the paranormal stuff that they sell. It's everything lights up. Everything
Yes.
is affected by radio frequencies. It's easily faked,
So a lot of it's
manipulated.
for show.
Yes.
A lot of it is. So if you like, we use some of this stuff, but we know
Right.
like when we get a new piece of equipment,
But you know
we
if
put
it
it in
goes
test
off.
mode.
Yes.
We want to know what is going to set that off. So like our motion sensors, nobody would think when you go on the walkie-talkies, they go off. You wouldn't think that, but we tested it to make sure like what sets these things
Now,
off to know.
I gotta ask you a question.
Right.
What's that thing that I don't know if it's called Spirit Box, the one that, or maybe I missed the one that it like shoots out a word, so the spirit can pick a word.
So there's a bunch of them.
Yeah,
The
you know what I'm
most
talking about, right?
popular one is called the Ovilus.
Obvious, that's what the name of it. Yes.
Yeah, we also have that. That's probably one of my least trusted.
Yes, I was gonna say, how much
So-
do you guys trust that?
I don't.
I
So,
feel like that's
for
a real
example,
weird one,
like-
right?
Our Ovilus, right? All it is an SD card with a word bank on it.
Okay.
So for us, I think our Ovilus, I looked at it, has maybe 300 to 400
Something
words.
like
We
that.
got one of the older models.
Okay.
When you look at the grand scheme of things, that's not a lot of words.
No, it isn't. And
But what I hate about it is what they're doing on TV shows is all they do is take that SD card, delete until they have 10 words, put one of those words as demon.
yes,
Over the
yes.
course of an
I noticed that.
8-hour
It's always the same
investigation,
words that come up.
exactly.
Those words are going to pop up.
Or it's like help or this or
Even,
like
even
real
like phone apps
Yep.
and different programs that use like kind of like that same technology. If you're using it, that's fine, but try to notice a pattern, because if you're on every single time you turn the thing on and it's saying the same stuff, chances are it's programmed. and
Yes, it's
crap.
gonna
It's not
go to
real.
just certain words.
Exactly.
And that's what we're really looking for when we're using these is answers to our questions. Like we have one in particular that's called the Echo Box, which is just something that shoots out a bunch of random phonetic sounds. So technically it's not supposed to make a word at all. It's all phonetics.
Okay.
But, you know, just the way the phonetics sound and line up. Sometimes you'll hear like yes, leave, stuff like that.
Yeah.
If I hear it say leave, to me that's just the phonetics lining up.
Yeah.
Now, if I then go and ask, if you really want me to leave, can you say, James, please leave? And then all of a sudden I hear, James, please leave.
Yeah, that-
now we have something.
Now you got something
Now
real
we
tangible,
got something
yeah.
to do with.
Like there was a time where when I first started using Echo Box, I was very skeptical of it, and we were at a place called Greystone Asylum in New Jersey. It's not there anymore. They demoed it.
Okay.
And we were outside like the fence area, and on the front door there was somebody painted a number 1. So I was running the Echo Box, and I was like, okay, if you could see me,
Yeah.
what number's on that door? It says 1, and I'm like, well, that's pretty interesting. And
Yeah.
then we'll do sessions, and we'll run like a 5-minute session, and there's no numbers that come out, and then all of a sudden we'll pull out like a deck of tarot cards, and we'll shuffle and be like, all right, tell us your story. What number do you want us to pull? And they'd be like, 5. We'll pull card 5, drop it down. Do you want us to pull another card? What number? 8. Number 8. And it's just crazy. And then at some point, tell us to stop, and then we'll look at all the cards and be like, well, what does this mean? You know, I'm not
that's a
tarot
cool
card
way of
reader,
doing
but
it. I
yeah,
can
it's
see that
something
something
we
like
kind
that,
of came
yeah.
up with, and
Yeah.
like that's something different, you know. And it's so weird because when we're asking for a number, it's telling us like
Yes, it's not just
like
spitting out the
crazy.
same
it's just
ones.
Wild, yeah. So
Yeah, 'cause I always had that was the one I always see on shows. I'm like, he always says the same thing.
yeah, you gotta it's you know you gotta take it with a grain of salt. Even like the PSP7 Spirit Box and the S Box Ghost Scanner, they're running either AM or FM frequencies.
Yes.
So we only use AM on. That's what we use in the group because FM's all broadcasts. You know,
Yeah,
AM's
right.
a lot less.
Yeah.
But you still have to. You have to determine when you're doing your analysis to, you know, is it a broadcast or is it something really coming through? And you try to count like how many signals it's going over. You know what's being said.
There's
is
like a method to
correct,
it.
You know,
Okay.
yeah. So you got to be really. We're hard on our evidence. We're
Well,
very
see,
hard.
I mean, that's what I picked up is pretty cool. Is that you try to like if there's a way to dismiss it,
Of course.
you want to dismiss
100%.
it.
Yeah.
It's almost like you look to dismiss it.
I mean,
You know what I
we
mean?
do. I
And
mean,
then what's
even
unexplainable,
EVPs,
Right.
like
you go back.
the most
Yeah.
common form of analysis
Right.
we get is EVPs.
Yeah.
We have let's say we go to one site and there's 4 of us, we have 3 audio recorders going. So that way when we capture an EVP on one of those audios, we go back on the other two, find that exact spot. Is there something there as well? If we don't hear that exact same EVP, well, then that gives it more credibility, because if it was just a natural sound that happened in the world, well, then it should be on all three recorders. Right. So why do we have a female voice here on just one?
So, like, you said that Mount Misery, you found the pattern that it's September, right?
Yep.
So have you found, like, is there a certain time or throughout the year that things become more active? Like, is there, like, a lot of activity, like, on Halloween?
I knew you were about to say Halloween. I'm sure
That's
everybody
a good
thinks
question.
that.
A lot of people, I don't think we have enough data to say yes or no for that. When we do our field reports, it's not just about the equipment that we're using. We actually do a full weather report. So we'll do the moon phase, solar activity, geomagnetic field, and then we'll do the full weather report. Especially when it comes to like moon phases, a lot of people ask.
Yes,
us.
the moon's a big thing. I always heard.
It's right now we're trying to document that to see like, hey, when we're getting activity, does it more likely happen like a full moon or like waning crescent or a blood moon? You know, so if it is a special type of moon, we'll note that to see.
And also,
like,
what kind of activity comes on those days?
Exactly. It's a lot of research. It's unfortunate that I feel like out of all the groups in the entire world, like there's not a lot of groups that do what we're doing.
No, you never hear. I never heard that before. I mean, it makes
because-
sense as you explain it, because I think about that, but I never heard anybody talk about
It
that.
sucks because if there was more groups on board with that, you can get that data a lot quicker. But because it's, you know,
I feel like
do
people
so
want
much,
to
you know.
hog everything for themselves, especially when it's money and TV or you know money's involved. Everybody's
Yeah,
gonna.
but it's like I don't know. I recently saw the second podcast with Bob Lazar, right?
Okay.
That worked on Area S4 and
Yep,
worked
took
on
out-
space on a spaceship or whatever. And you know, he talked about the importance of science being able to discuss with other people,
course.
right?
Absolutely.
So I imagine there's other teams that just hold their stuff, and if you guys could all compile it,
like a database or
That's
something.
what I've been trying to do is create
Right,
a
like
database
a
for teams to have everyone
demonology
upload their
database.
stuff.
Yes.
So if I go to Gettysburg, you know, during the month of May, I can look up, okay, who investigated Devil's Den, this place and this place, who caught the evidence, where did they capture it, and then see if we can add to it. Or maybe we'll pick a different location and upload. And
The
then
hardest
when you
part
have
about
it's
that
great.
is that every paranormal team, there's no standard for it. The
none.
way we investigate is different from every other team.
Gotcha.
We have a very
It's
big
possible, but we also have to make sure when we create this database that everyone's on the same page.
Yeah, it's not putting
Like-
fugazi
Yeah,
information.
like
in.
it can be done.
Yeah.
So, for example, MUFON, the UFO
Yes, yes,
network,
MUFON, yep, of course.
they have a database
Yes,
of all
they do.
UFO sightings across the world. So it's possible to do this. It just needs to be translated into the paranormal field.
But I hate when teams say like, you know, like we investigated this place, we didn't capture anything. That sucks. I'm like, no, it doesn't. It's just as important not capturing something as capturing something, because you're able to now determine maybe a pattern. You know, it doesn't happen this month, but this month it does. Right. Now you got to try to figure out why. You know, so I always tell our team, like, we document everything, every piece of equipment that we use for that investigation. We write down the readings, the actual numbered readings. Even if you didn't get anything, I want to know what it says, because when we go back another time, is it consistent now?
Right.
Is it saying something different? And that's what kind of builds your control, kind of.
Now, my question: what was the ultraviolet? What's it called?
UV camera?
UV camera. I'm sorry, UV camera. Now, how much you get any cool stuff with that?
Was the one in Sheep Pasture UV or was that full spectrum?
Or full spectrum? Like, yeah,
That
out
was
of
full
all
spectrum.
those, like,
So-
also the thermal too.
Yeah, so we've gotten a couple on. I don't remember what we've gotten on each
Yeah.
specific off the top of my head, but there's one really cool one at Sheep Pasture Park that I absolutely love. Of the whole story there is there was a lot of witchcraft, witch trot stuff over there. And there's a specific spot that we go to that has kind of like this bridge leading up to what used to be Lawrence Aviation, was it?
Yeah.
Lawrence Aviation. They tore down the facility. But one of our investigators was taking pictures, and you see this black figure, and it almost looks like a woman, like crouched down in a black hood, which was, it looks so cool.
Kind of looks like a cape thing.
Yeah,
too.
it
Probably
literally
witches
looks like
wear,
a witch.
back then, especially they wear that kind of.
Yeah.
Now, you guys ever seen like shadows? I've seen it one time in the Shirley house, a shadow thing. Me and my cousin both saw it at the same time, and he looked at me and he's like, "You saw that?" I'm like,
So yeah, with shadow people, it's
like, what is that?
It's a tough one. So there's apparitions, and then there's shadow people. Two very different.
Yes, I heard there were
things.
different
And
things.
Shadow people is its own category. Like,
Okay.
like demonology is its own category.
Yeah.
Jinn is its own thing. Well, shadow people is also its own thing, and the characteristics is. It's a black opaque figure. Majority of them are tall, 7
Yes,
feet
it
tall.
looked
Now,
pretty
like
tall.
Slender
that's
Man.
not saying, kind of like
Slenderman's
that.
like
But
its own-
it's
Slenderman more
it's
of an
different.
apparition.
Yeah,
Yes,
this
yes.
is more. It's just like a black opaque figure. Majority are 7 feet tall. Some of them can be smaller, but that's like the look. They call it the Hat Man. You'll have like a top hat.
Yes,
cloak,
yes, I heard of that.
A lot of
Yes.
times, and you'll see them in the darkest of nights. And a lot of times they'll follow man-made pathways. You'll see them in the corner of your eye, like kind of like poking out of a tree or a corner.
It was
of
in a
room.
hallway we seen
Hallway,
it, and
sure.
my eye was like this. I just seen
Yep.
this thing like because we have a candle that's like hardwired in, so it's always running.
Right,
And you
right.
can see it like this,
Yep.
and he walked back, or I don't know if he did one of those, and the candle's almost by the ceiling.
So with shadow people, there's never any direct contact. So if you're saying that this thing touched you, it's not a shadow person.
Okay.
Shadow people never come in contact, like physical contact. A lot of times, if
They're kind of like peeping toms.
yeah, exactly, perfect. Because when you notice them, they're gone. They're not gonna like if you see it here, and it's there.
Soon as
It's
you
not
catch
gonna
it, it's
stare
gone.
back at you.
Yes.
It's gonna disappear and be gone. That's how you determine. Now, and this is all information that I've gotten over lectures from Rosemary Ellen Guiley. She was one of the old paranormal investigators doing a lot of research on shadow people, getting all different reports from all over the country,
Really?
and she put this whole like lecture together. And
Ooh, I'm interested. in
I
this.
sat in that.
What, so
and,
what do they think this is exactly?
they're called dimensional beings. They're from a certain dimension. We don't really know what. Is it more like extraterrestrial base? Some people think it's
See,
like
that's
the
a huge
pawns
thing,
of
yes,
that,
because
you know?
there's dimensions, different realities, and I know things
Exactly.
that come through, and that's why I think leprechauns. They all come from these other
Different
realms,
realms, and then-
fairies.
sure,
They're
sure.
all, you know what I mean? Yeah. So like, I wonder if some paranormal stuff you pick up are beings from other dimensions that you're just picking up.
That's what they think this is. I think it's like they're in like the fifth dimension or
Yes,
something like
yes,
that.
the different dimensions levels.
What exactly is that? We don't know. I don't think we'll ever fully
Yeah.
comprehend it. We live on the third dimension.
Yes.
Some people are saying there's like a breach between the third and fourth.
Yes, there is. You
But-
have to ascend to that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Yes,
us beings, like us
exactly,
as humanity,
exactly.
hasn't ascended. So
Right.
there's beings that can be literally right between us right now.
Right.
Phase in, phase out, and they can do that. We just haven't got to that point yet.
Yeah, exactly. I think like the jinn are in like the seventh dimension.
So what is the jinn? I've heard over the years.
So,
I never got like a real like
Jinn
what it is exactly.
It's another type of haunting, Middle Eastern descent. So
Okay.
jinn, believe it or not, used to be on Earth prior to humans. You're talking about probably 11,000 years
Yes,
prior.
yes.
And they polluted the planet, wasted it away, and at the time, I think it was like their god, whatever it was, banished them to the seventh dimension. They made a deal. Basically, I think it was Iblis was like the leader of the jinn. Made a deal saying that let us prove that humans aren't the inferior race. So that's how they're able to enter into our lives. So when you think of jinn, think of like genie in a bottle.
Okay.
Okay.
That's really like what it is. How is that interconnecting with our world more over here in the States is a lot of people go there traveling, bring items back, something could be attached, and that's how it's kind of interacting with our world now.
Now let me ask you another thing
sure.
about items. I know there's always been items that have like an attack. Like you always
Sure.
get the Annabelle doll.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like I'm saying, there's all types of things that
Sure.
you could bring. It's not even like if you bring this to any place, it would start bringing activity.
Right, right.
So now, does people ever come like this item we think is, and you guys like
We've
run something on it?
had, out of all the house investigations, I want to say maybe there was two that had like a haunted item. One was like a mirror.
Oh, I always heard mirrors like a big thing.
Yeah, we wound up
Catched it.
we wound
Yes,
up taking
yes.
it. Do I believe in haunted items? I do.
Like a possessed item, I
I-
would guess would be right because like something's got attached to it. almost.
exactly. Do I think it's being exploited out right now? 100%.
Oh yeah,
I
of
mean,
course.
15 years ago there was the Annabelle doll, the Mrs. Peck doll, and Robert the doll. Those were like the three main that everyone knew about. Now it's everything's haunted.
Yeah.
This water.
Now, what's your theory on those dolls? I've heard them. Do you
but
think
also
they're really?
there's the guy. He's a comedian that had bought the
Oh,
property.
yeah,
and now they're putting a whole bunch of Annabelle dolls in there that you could buy.
Right.
That's
Oh,
in the
so they're
same
trying to think
area.
of something from the house and attach to it, and they're gonna
Yeah.
take it.
And is it possible? Like we have a replica, a small replica of Robert the doll.
I love
That doll actually comes from the same museum that Robertson. And like when I purchased it, I got an email from the company saying Robert approves the purchase. We're shipping it to you, today. And I'm like, wait a minute, you asked the Robert the doll about, like, that freaks me out.
You know what's crazy?
Now, do
I
you
think-
have it like enclosed? Or
I
do
have
you
it.
just-
I have it in
yeah.
like a box or whatever.
Because this is what I think. I think they're doing that to let. I think it's a nefarious thing. Not that with that. I'm talking about with the Annabelle. Like I feel like like with Ouija boards. What's your whole thing with Ouija? I know there's demonic Ouija boards. There's all
so
different types,
with
right?
Ouija boards,
And have you ever brought one to like an investigation?
No, we will never.
we don't
I feel
mess
so
with it.
stupid for messing.
I
with
don't
it. Here
mess
we
with
go.
Ouija boards. I've spoken to a lot of demonologists in the field. They do more harm than good. Not saying that you can have a positive session. You absolutely can.
But I mean, think about it. Like as kids, we're trying to
and
contact
that's the
something that we
problem-
know we shouldn't.
The problem with that what you just said is exactly it. You're, as a kid, even a teenager, 15, 16 years old, you mess with a Ouija board, you know it's wrong. At free will, you know it's wrong, but you still do
You said
it.
the big thing right now, free will.
You
This is
still do
the
it.
thing with aliens too, is that they can never come down like Independence Day. It's a universal law, but they can influence our free will, just like the elites
So,
influence our
right.
free will.
So, with saying that, because you have free will to say yes or no, right from wrong, that kind of allows a demonic to enter in. So what you're doing is you're basically putting your hand on a planchette. You're allowing whatever's around
Yeah.
you
Just
to enter
open
your
it up.
body to move that piece. Now, just because you're like, I'm good, that demonic could be like, well,
I'm not.
I'm not.
Yep.
And 30 years later, when, you have a family and wife and kids, and all of a sudden your kids start getting tormented, even though you're the one that did it, how does it break you down? It messes with your kids to mentally break you down. Once it mentally breaks you down, now it's going to physically break you down.
Yeah.
So
that's
I
how you
was
have, like,
telling him
investigations
there's
and all
a
that.
there's a house up the block from my house, right? And it was a guy, a regular guy, you know what I mean, kids, all that shit. And then one day something hit him off, and he ended up killing his whole family, and then killed himself. And then people moved in there, and they swear to God it's haunted, and I'm like, well, I wouldn't live there.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I would watch these scary movies, and you know what I mean. If there's some, I'm not staying. I'm leaving.
Right,
You know,
right.
which brings me to my question. My question for you: do you have a favorite haunted movie?
Haunted movie. We're going to have two very...
Yeah. Okay. So
Yes,
wait,
we are.
He's way more horror guy than
so
I
there's
am.
the paranormal, then there's horror, like
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean, I would say my favorite horror movie, which is probably going to be like, everyone's be like, what? Is Monster Squad. Like, that's my
wow.
jam.
I wasn't
thinking
that.
Like,
Wow,
nah,
okay.
nobody would.
That was-
That's
that was-
kind of, as a kid, that kind of intrigued me to, when I had an opportunity to be like, wow, this is like really a thing, like not monsters, but ghosts. That's so cool. I remember in that movie, like, towards the end, they printed out like these little business cards that said like Monster Squad on it. And that's one of the first things we did in LIPI when we started like organizing was we all created our own business cards. And it was like
Now,
the
what
coolest
about
thing,
what
you know?
about Ghostbusters? Did you like Ghostbusters as a kid?
Yeah, of course. Ghostbusters.
I love Ghostbusters.
I think-
I
I
love
don't
know what he's
Ghostbusters.
talking
I still
about.
got the
It's
toy,
great.
the
It's wonderful.
house.
Nice.
My mom
Oh,
still has
that's
it in
cool.
the attic.
I
Yeah.
just want to say, I think it's so cool for like you to have, you to be fascinated with it as a kid, and to grow up and fulfill what you wanted to do and like live in your purpose.
No, absolutely.
And it seems that you're doing it better than most with all the different things, and you try to dismiss it. You don't run right to it and be like, "Oh, this place is definitely," you know what I mean? And then to find patterns. Like,
So now,
oh,
quick question: what was your
September.
favorite? Now I'm going to hear your.
I'm a much bigger
You
I
definitely are.
love
Horror
horror
head.
movies,
Yes, I'm a big horror guy. I
paranormal
love it,
things.
yes.
I love it all.
Ah.
But I think if we're just talking paranormal,
We'll do
nothing.
one paranormal, one horror.
Okay,
So
paranormal.
I know it's hard.
Poltergeist. I love
Oh.
that movie to death.
The original.
The
Original, yes.
Oh,
original,
God,
original.
yes.
I heard stuff happen on
There's-
that set.
There's no other such things as the original.
Yeah,
I've heard, like-
Poltergeist 3 is fine, but so if we're just speaking paranormal wise, it would have to be Poltergeist. I love that movie. If we're talking horror movies, and I do have a little bit of a
Yes.
weird, but I still love it to death. One of the earliest horror movies I watched with my dad was Alien.
Ooh,
And Alien
that's
and
a good one.
Aliens to this day is still two of my favorite
Now let me ask you a
movies
question:
of
Did you
all
see
time.
Alien Romulus?
Yes, I did.
Did you like it?
I did enjoy it.
I did enjoy
I
it.
thought it
They
was
kinda
great.
brought it back to old school
I
style.
thought
Well,
where
the
they're
end,
going
with
with
the end
it.
kind of went a little.
It did, but at the same time, I think I see where they were going with it,
Yes,
and
yes.
I'm fine with it. So long as the next one kind of
Stay
gets away from the
Get
Prometheus
as
and
far away from that.
keeps building
Yes.
on that, I'm gonna be very
I
happy.
like how they
with
did
it.
the whole synth when
Yes.
they upgraded him, and they kind of like with them. I like how
Yeah,
they showed that whole
absolutely.
other side.
I got two other questions because we talk about wrestling sometimes on here. It's WrestleMania week.
Oh, it is.
yeah.
That's
Okay.
right.
I can't wait to watch it.
Yes.
Nice.
Did you guys watch wrestling as a kid? Is the first one.
Yep.
The
I did.
follow-up
Oh yeah.
is, do you like superhero movies?
Oh yeah, we always ask everybody. This is like
Yeah.
our questions.
I do.
I'm not really into the superhero movies, believe it or not. I think they're good. Like I'll watch it, but I'm not one to
Right.
like I have to see
Right.
it. today.
Yeah, so he's ready.
Yeah. I mean, for a long time, I was big into the superhero.
Are you a
movies.
comic book guy?
I am a comic
Me
book
too.
guy
Okay,
as
that's
well.
me and him are both comic book guys, so that's why
I
we
love my
scrutinize them a
comics.
little bit. Yes.
I think after Endgame, I do think it got a little
Wait,
oversaturated.
okay, now this is a
It's
question.
hard to
This is
beat.
our question.
Yeah,
Because me and him
but-
have a certain opinion. What do you think about Endgame?
I thought it was great.
I thought they could have did better. I didn't like
No.
the time traveling shit.
The time traveling
But
was
that's
fine the
set-
way
but
they
that's
did
set
it,
up
though.
Doomsday.
See,
It
yeah,
does.
set
the
up
way they did
Doomsday.
it, but I don't like how they killed Thanos and they had the other Thanos. Like, I don't know.
Oh no, I enjoyed
All right,
every
all right.
bit of
Okay.
Endgame.
So
I
what
thought
about-
it was a great closure.
So what about wrestling? Did you watch wrestling as a kid?
I was not a big wrestling
Did you?
person. I watched it a little bit. I dabbled.
Who's your
but
Who's your favorite?
Undertaker.
Undertaker,
That makes
wow.
sense.
my
That
guy,
checks
that's my
out.
guy.
Now, let me ask you a question. Did you guys see the description of the Doomsday trailer?
yes, I did.
Okay, so did you get the full one? 'Cause I didn't really get to look into it yet. Did you get the
Full
full
one.
description of the with the trailer? The trailer, we
don't
didn't get to
think
see it.
so.
We didn't get to see the trailer. It was like the Cinecon thing that they played.
Well, they had like a
No.
Comic Con, and they would
No, they played it for
discussing
people, but dude, they actually had people with night vision cameras that had special lasers. So if you try to pull out your phone,
You couldn't
they
watch
were
it.
hitting your phone with the laser.
Oh, really?
Yes, and then they
Wow.
they had people with night vision goggles all around. So if you tried, they would escort you out, taking your phone, deleting anything you got. That's why no footage came out.
So it's
That's
just, it's
So
just
what they
word of
said
mouth.
was
that.
it was Thor fighting Doom. There was Gambit fighting Shang-Chi. Like they said, Doom was like owning Thor. That was
Makes
one
sense.
Of, yeah. It's something he
Got it.
tried to hit him with Stormbreaker and he did like a spell thing and
Yeah.
just shut him down. I think some of Chris Evans, Captain America getting Thor Mjolnir. Like that was one of the scenes. It was like a 2-minute long trailer. Like Gambit, I heard Gambit and Shang-Chi was fighting whoever his name is. And I'm trying to think what else. I don't know. It was very short, but no
But that's cool.
footage.
Shang-Chi and Gambit.
Yeah, that was cool.
Kind
That
of got
is-
the same.
It was supposed to be like a really dope fight scene that they had.
Yeah,
probably
I
the
try my
reasons.
best to stay away from trailers.
Yeah.
and that stuff. I know it's almost impossible in this day and age,
Well,
but
the problem
I
is the
do
stupid
try.
AI stuff.
Yeah,
A lot of it's believable too.
yeah, it
Oh,
is.
now let me ask you a question. Is AI affecting the paranormal? Like a lot of bullshit, like videos and stuff?
I'm sure. I hate AI.
Me too. I hate it. It's one of my pet peeves.
I mean, every once in a while, somebody will try to send us like a photo, and I'll look at it and be like, "There's no way." You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
See,
Then all you do is
ChatGPT,
do like a reverse
It's
thing
good
on Google.
sometimes. Like it made our logo, and the logo I sent
yeah, but
you,
see, the
it
problem
made-
is our logo. We've seen other logos
with the
similar
same
to
font,
it, same font. So
yeah,
it's
so
like,
it's generic.
yeah. So we're gonna have to update it eventually because I want nothing with somebody else's.
We got
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it was a podcast about conspiracies, and it had the same thing, and it was a wrestling podcast had the same type of. I was like,
Right.
son of a bitch. It's like it took what we liked and then just matched it to somebody else with
Yeah.
the same interest.
But it's
Which I
also
thought was interesting.
weird because like we never had like a YouTube channel before.
Yeah.
Right.
So that we're our 9th episode in,
Yeah.
and we're starting to find out like what shorts take more and how to maneuver the whole YouTube space.
Sure.
But it's weird because like I work in an office full of guys, and now I'm all up on their algorithm. They're like, "Yeah, I just saw you. I was scrolling and I saw you," and it's weird. It's almost
Listen.
like if you bring your phone that you're
No,
slotted
yeah.
into
Yeah.
YouTube and bring it around people, it like
100%.
I'll give you
Even-
one
even at
better.
work it
I'm
happens.
sitting
Like,
on
all
my-
employees will just pop up on my phone.
I
and
was.
I'm like,
This is
huh?
what I think the phones can do this. They don't tell it. I think you could read our something through our eyes because I was sitting on my couch one day, not talking to anybody, by
Right.
myself. And I have a memory foam couch. I was thinking about it. Like, oh, this thing's real comfortable. Just thinking in my head. All of a sudden, it pops up.
Wow.
I was like, okay, I wasn't talking about it. I was just
I believe
thinking.
that.
That's
Right?
crazy.
And I was like, and there's
So
a
many
couple
times.
times where I'm thinking about something, not even talking about it, by myself, and it pops up, and I'm like,
That's
all right,
wild.
I'm not texting nobody about it. I'm just thinking it. And it's like, I feel like if you read something with your eyes, I don't know.
It could, yeah, definitely.
Listen, they wouldn't tell us.
No,
They're not going to tell us.
weird, super weird.
Listen, bro, they
But
got
listen,
technology.
we had a whole thing about phones and how like This is like we're like cyborgs. This is extension of us. You know, we rely on technology, but then like the youth now, I don't know, and probably you come from the same generation. And when we were kids, we knew where our friends were because the bikes were there.
Yeah.
Yes.
You saw people
That's it.
outside.
Or you go to
That's
like
it.
the bagel spot or the deli or the
Yeah.
handball courts or the
Yeah.
and then you just meet up and
That's
everybody
it.
would just
Yeah, like
continue.
we said, we could start. It could be you and your best friend, you and your boy in the morning. Next thing you know, at night you're with 20 other people and we're all hanging out. And now you don't see that. You don't see people out.
You know what's crazy? We used to party in parks and like do like
Yes.
Or 40
Right, you
acres
don't
like
see
that.
that driving around.
Manhunt with the
Man,
entire
man,
block.
yes. You
What
don't
a-
see
what a
that when
time.
you drive. I'm driving around. I don't see kids
No,
outside.
there's
I don't
nobody
see
out
like
there.
house parties.
We were big street hockey, and like, you know, it was our group of friends, and then all of a sudden we had like, you know, 2 full nets, 2 goalies, 5-on-5, you know, in the street, and like I'd never see any of that.
No, you don't. Like I remember every weekend we had a house party or something.
Yeah.
Like I drive around, I don't see any like I
Yeah.
don't see like a bunch. You know, you see like 30, 40 cars.
Yeah.
You see a cat. You see
Yeah.
kids lingering all drunk. Like you don't see that
Well,
anymore.
it's also like we talked about last week with Mel. Our boy, my boy, he's a rapper, and we had him on, and he was talking about he was in the gym one day, right? And he was talking about how like people go on Instagram and scroll and compare their lives to what they see on Instagram, and talked about he was working out and he saw this dude come in with somebody filming him, right? And he goes and he does one pull up, and the guy films him do the one pull up, and then the guy leaves. He was like, and then other people are watching it, comparing their life to this guy. Like, I need to get in the gym more. Da, da, da. Meanwhile, this guy just came in for one pull up. You know.
Also,
so-
your bullshit meter's got to be up.
Yeah.
My bullshit meter's always up. These kids, if you believe you can tell when somebody's faking. I mean, I feel like when you've been around long enough, you kind of gauge. Like I'm sure you guys gauge a paranormal. Like I'm sure people send you footage and stuff, and you were like,
all the time,
right?
All the
Like,
time. Yeah.
now my question is too: is there any places that you went in somebody's house and you were like, all right, this is pretty active, like, and like to get their response, like, what should we do?
Also, have you ever told them to like, you know, that maybe have you ever got a call of somebody in a house where like they could be possessed?
We've had, I'm trying to think of possession case. We did one case many years ago, a small apartment where the woman thought like she had like possession from demonics, and she was also schizophrenic.
Oh, okay, so
Really tough case
that's hard.
because
Right.
they tried getting help from the church and they were turned away.
And also, you don't know if they're playing off that. 'Cause
Right.
the demon, I mean, they could be manipulating
Manipulating
that
it.
and making it worse. So maybe
So-
this is made her go crazy.
She had some weird things happen, like some religious statues were like messed with, but it's hard to say, like, you know, was it you that's doing it in a schizophrenic state and just not remembering it and
Yeah.
you come out of it and then it's like
That's a hard one
what?
because
So
Mental health in the
we,
paranormal is
yeah,
very
it's
difficult.
tough. So
Right.
we took the case, we went there, and I mean, we had a small group, maybe 3 or 4 of us. I literally sat with this woman for 4 hours at her kitchen table, talking to her the entire night. My team was doing their investigation, and we didn't find anything. But after we left, we did the reveal. You know, we said we didn't find anything, but you know, we assured her that what you're feeling, what you're dealing with, we do believe you. Like, we're not like hushing it just
no,
because
but
you're
It's
schizophrenic.
just maybe not that active that night.
After that,
Yeah.
she was fine.
And
after
that's
that,
it. Like
so-
when we go into these house cases, we go in for 2-3 hours,
Yeah,
and
it's
the
hard.
client
Right.
they're living in it. So just because something doesn't happen in the
It doesn't
3
come
hours
free, but
doesn't
it's
mean
also-
there's nothing
it's
there.
also-
Also,
you said
it's also would they know somebody's there?
But it's also
the
it's not like a
actors.
recorded place where you guys these guys got hits here, that happened here, you guys
Yep.
been there 20 times.
Right.
This is a one shot, one
One and
kill.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you like you said, it could be a good night, it could be heavily active night. But is there been people that were like, try to get this house blessed? Because I know people like normal people be like, I just want this out of here. And like
Some
sometimes it
people
may
say
not be a
that,
bad
yeah,
thing, it just
yeah.
may be active.
Some people say that, and we'll do a cleansing, but it's like you take the science part of it, you throw out the window. It's,
Yeah.
'cause it's not like you can come in there with like a proton pack.
Yeah. Put them in.
What does a cleansing look like?
It all depends on the client and what they want. You know, if they're
Some people do a sage cleanse.
exactly.
I think
if
it
they're
goes
like
on their beliefs, right?
Yeah.
100%.
Okay.
So like obviously, like if we walk into somebody's house and their religion is Jewish and that's what they kind of want. I can't go in there starting to say Catholic prayers. It's not going to work.
Yeah,
you
right,
know.
yeah,
So
right.
we have a religion department in our organization where we focus
Yes.
on all the different religions and how they deal with the paranormal. So we kind of utilize that. If they want more of a spiritual thing, it's like sage and that kind
You
of
know
stuff.
what's cool?
In the paranormal field, intent is everything. So
Yes.
the more you can put intent into something like that, like I said, I'm not really a religious person, but when it comes to sage or I personally use a lot of black salt. I can put a lot of intent, a lot of energy into
Yes.
that to
Well, I
hopefully
think
get
I
things
think that
out.
goes beyond paranormal. I think
Well,
that's in world.
Yeah.
period.
I'm gonna tell you
Intention,
something
the
cool.
power of
It's
intention.
this thing called Project Looking Glass. It's a government
Okay.
black thing, right? So now basically it's like a tablet thing that they can go back in time and see events. What they learned was, say you're not religious, you're more religious, right? You look back, you see Jesus a certain way. You got cruise. Now you
okay.
look back, you see it a totally different way. So
Interesting.
our perception is changing
Forms
the
our
reality of the
reality.
timeline. So they're figuring out certain events that are just like more belief. Or that actually changes per person.
Right.
So like they're like figuring out like what the hell, like certain things or whatever, but like certain things when it comes to religion
It's
or like
subjective.
subjective, and it actually
Right.
changes the timeline or events or distorts reality.
That's
We
Interesting.
use that because, like, a lot of times when we'll investigate a place, our team's like, we have a lot of new members and stuff. They're like, well, what happened here? I'm like, well, I don't want to tell you.
Yeah.
Because
Exactly. It may
Now it's
influence
gonna
it.
skew what you
exactly.
see.
If I
Yes.
turn around and say, the last time we hear, craziest night ever, we all had experiences, you're going to go in there with that mindset.
expectation.
And then you might see something and project something that's not really there.
Yeah.
So I like to tell everyone, go in with a clean slate and feel it for yourself.
Or if you tell them we heard this, and this, and then they're
Yeah.
gonna be trying to
Looking for
listen,
it.
or you may
Exactly.
think you in
Exactly.
in your brain.
Like even
story.
this house case that we're going to, I'm team lead on it, so I've got the list of all the reports and everything. The team that I'm bringing has no idea what the heck anything is.
Yes,
And we're very careful with that. Even like with our psychics, especially, if anybody brings up even just the general
You don't wanna
history of a
influence
possible
them.
location,
Yeah, 'cause then-
we kick them out of the room for just history, not
Yeah.
even paranormal.
Yeah.
So we're very.
It's
hard
like
on
you
that.
guys know about remote viewing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. They just give them data points,
Yeah.
and then there's a whole team. It's not just one person. And then the same thing what you guys do. They pull all the data together.
Right.
Remote viewing, I would love to do. Apparently, any of us could do it. It's just being.
That's
trained.
what I've been
Yeah,
told.
exactly.
Yes.
We have an investigator, Michelle, who does remote viewing
Really?
a lot, and she
Oh my
she
God,
says
wow.
the same thing.
Yeah.
I've never been able to do it.
You know
We
what?
had one of our guys, Peter. He lives in
Peter,
Florida
too,
now.
that's
he,
right.
he did it one night. We're at Mount Misery actually, and we went there. All he knew was where we were going, the location. He
Yeah.
was never there before, and when we got to the spot where there's a pathway that leads off of the main pathway, we stopped and we looked down that pathway and we're like, we don't feel right. We're not going down there. He actually picked up through his remote viewing that whatever we were picking up on, that's where it was, like that, like dark demonic entity.
That's
And
so crazy.
afterwards, he had no idea what we felt that night. He's like, "Hey, I did some remote viewing. Do you want to hear?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want to hear what you have to say." And sure enough, when he said that, I was like, "How did you know?" Because
Yes.
he had no clue.
Yeah, it's crazy 'cause-
He described the pathway, the trees where they were positioned.
They just do
It's
smells,
wild.
everything.
Yeah,
And like
so
remote viewing, that's a cool thing to tie in because that even validates it even more. Now you're getting it from all different angles.
Right,
From
right.
the psychic mediums to the remote
Especially
viewing.
with somebody that's
And
not
with the
even
scientific
there.
part.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was really cool. It was really cool. Shannon did that a lot.
Yes.
Halsey House. We
Ooh,
blindfolded.
another-
That's right,
That
Halsey.
was
We
You know what's
coolest
another one I want to
thing,
ask you that I know Bianca brought up, but something about or maybe I don't know if it was her or somebody else that was telling me about it. Native American spots that are supposed to be really
Active.
yes.
Sure.
I mean, we live on Long Island. We're
Island.
essentially
Yes.
an Indian burial
I know,
ground
because
right
she was telling me
here.
something about Shirley out where there was a plantation thing. There was something out where she
Green
lives.
Acres Farm.
Green Acres Farm.
It was, yeah,
Maybe.
Green Acres Farm, and it was something. What was she saying? It was
Camp
something about
Upton, maybe?
William Floyd Estates
Oh,
over
yeah.
there. That
Oh,
whole batch.
sure,
She showed me
yeah,
like
yeah. Oh,
a
Yep.
map area
Yes.
about all
Yep.
this.
Yep.
So like, yeah, I know Native American stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, because we
Yep.
did to them.
Well, back to I think what you mentioned poltergeist. A lot of people don't realize that whole story came from Long Island, from a
Yeah.
house in
Oh,
Seaford.
really?
A
Yep.
house in Seaford. Yeah, Long Island's got we have Amityville, we have
We've-
the poltergeist
we're-
house.
Well, there's
we have
the house in
everything.
Shoreham too that's haunted. That a big murder happened too. But Long Island got so
Oh, yeah,
much
it's
history.
so much
You know what's
so
crazy?
much.
I gotta try to find the address for you. It was a house that we in 2005. It was it was in Plainview. It was on a block, and it was just we always seen it boarded up. Nobody lived in it. It's a nice neighborhood, so it's like,
Sure.
why would they not fix this up and sell it for like $800,000?
Right,
It's in a
right.
great prime time. So one night we were asking the neighbors just before we had Google. So we're asking them. The family's not there anymore. The family owns it. Is in Florida.
Okay.
I don't know if it's an extended family. So of course we break the window at night, open the
Right.
door, go back at night. And we're walking through the house, like 5, 6 of us. So you're not picking up. I'm the last one because nobody wants to
Right.
sit in the back. And it looks like everybody tried packing and just stopped. I mean, there was like Wheatie boxes from the 1970s, like
Wow.
Advil bottles. I'm talking shit
That's
everywhere,
weird.
papers. It looked like a bomb. Like somebody tried leaving fast and stopped. So I'm in the back. I felt like something like just brushing against me. Like I get those like tingles in the back of
Yeah.
your neck, your
Yeah,
hair.
yeah.
happening, and like we're going through the rooms are just chaos. Like it was suitcases packed, clothes everywhere, just but no, we could. I should probably. I forget. I gotta Google it now, but So as we're leaving, we walk down the staircase. So it's like one of those like balconies that overviews, like you can see the living room from upstairs. There was a bookshelf, one of those old school bookshelves. And we walked down, and my boy's like, there's nothing. So I kept saying something. He's like, you know, he thought I was messing with him. He's like, there's nothing in this house. Like screams. As soon as he screamed, the bookcase slammed.
Wow.
And I'm talking about you. We ran. I remember my shins were destroyed. We were all tripping, falling over each other. We got out of the house so big. Because it's like one of those big bookcases, and we were downstairs already, so it wasn't like we walked by and like cricket and it shook. Like it slammed. I gotta figure out that address. I want to like see if you guys.
Cool.
Yeah, it's wild.
Cool.
We gotta start one down. We got
Yeah.
a minute. We do have a couple shout outs we gotta do, right?
Oh yes.
We got one for Dubby.
Dubby, yes, Dubby.
If you, we're gonna plug the website. If you go on the website, use code Project Mayhem, you get 10% off.
10% off, yes.
I'm still waiting on the link for Attorney Shield.
Attorney Shield, yes.
So we got this like partner with this place called.
I gotta get
Attorney
pulled over
Shield,
one night
right?
and see if it works.
So
We'll test
when
it out.
you use it, you get 10% off if you use our code. We're waiting on it.
Cool.
But like, let's say you get pulled over, right? You could actually click on the app, and it pops up with an attorney that you FaceTime.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And the attorney will speak to the officer for you. You don't gotta fucking say a word.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And
To make sure they're not. I mean, obviously, if you're
To make
speeding,
sure-
you're speeding.
but-
But like,
Yeah.
if they're trying to like I got pulled over one night and the cop told me I didn't have my license. He said my license is suspended.
Right.
Find out my license wasn't suspended. They ripped me out of the car and started this whole event for no reason when my license was good the whole time.
Wow.
He just whatever he did in his system because the guy did was like I don't know why he thought your license was suspended. I had a commercial driver's license I gave up years ago. Because I don't need it for my union job, and he was like, "No, you." I'm like, "Dude, I have a regular license. Here's my license."
Right.
So like, if I would have had Attorney Shield, I could have, I mean,
Right.
put him on.
But it
and-
also like the cop's whole attitude will change if they know you
Yeah.
have a
Yeah.
attorney present.
Right.
especially to FaceTime, because now it's like,
Right.
Yeah, right.
and then now they can try to violate your rights, and then
I mean,
now you have a case. You have
with
a,
cops, it's always hit or miss. There's some that like got picked on as.
but also, I'm sure maybe they're recording on their end, or I'm sure that at least you have that attorney that you could bring up if something does happen.
Yeah, that's
to
pretty
fight.
cool. That's pretty.
Right.
Well,
And W, what is W exactly? It's like
So-
a genderless energy.
So it's a
Supplement, right?
Yeah, it's a supplement that's like caffeine free, but it gives you energy. It's kind of like an alpha brain.
Yes,
type
you don't
of
get that
thing.
like jittery,
Okay.
shaky.
Yeah.
'Cause that's not good. I don't like that.
I actually
Yeah,
got some.
right,
of it.
right.
I got some of it coming that we can put on.
Okay,
the
cool.
table
Well,
for next
I'll take
time.
it. Dry scoop it on there.
I know that's what you do.
that like
He'll take
pre-workout.
a pre-workout just like that.
I
You know what
dry
I mean?
scoop it,
I mean,
empty stomach.
Shout out to Red Bull.
Red
though.
Bull.
Nice.
We need
Yeah,
that sponsor.
that'd be a win.
So listen, how can we find you?
so yeah, go for it, Jim.
Go for it. So we
Yes.
have our website. You can go to LongIslandParanormalInvestigators.com. We're also going to be at Penhurst PowerCon in probably about 3 weeks here. I think that's May 15th.
Okay. Where's that?
That's in Pennsylvania. I don't remember the town, but if you look it up, Spring City, that's right.
Yeah.
And then if you go onto our website, we have our events listed, and we do public events, especially around October. So if the public wants to join us, they're more than welcome. We'll start announcing those pretty soon as we get them, and yeah.
I would. I don't know if you're
we're
down.
two
I'm
things.
so down.
We would love
Yeah.
to have
Yes.
two things. We would love to join you guys sometime.
Cool.
Also, we would love to have you guys back on.
Yes,
Absolutely.
definitely. Because I feel like there's only so much you could
We
cram.
could
in one
set up
episode.
something where, like, maybe you guys can join us on like an urban legend investigation,
Yeah.
and then we'll set up a show afterwards.
Yes,
Right,
yes,
yeah.
we'll do
Process
it like
it.
that. Yes,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah,
I've been
that'd be
dying
cool.
for
That would be
this,
cool.
dying
That'd
for
be
this
cool,
to
sure.
do this for
All
since
right.
2003.
Cool.
Yeah.
You know, we've been trying to do it, but just never.
Yeah,
like,
and like I said, we got Bianca. I think the 10th.
okay, well,
Nice.
May.
Something
That's
like
cool.
that. We
Yeah,
got
yeah.
her coming on.
She's really
She's
good. She's
very,
very
very
good
good.
at what she does.
I know
Yeah.
I know she just recently had an event in maybe Pennsylvania as well at like a jail.
I think so. Yeah, what the Old Stone Jail, I think it's called.
Old Stone Jail.
Old Stone.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm curious to, and now that we met you, I'm curious as to stories she got, because it's so cool that you had this a dream as a kid, and now you have
Yeah.
a team of 30 people.
Right.
Yeah, that's wild.
And making a living off of it.
Well, I don't really make a
Well,
living.
so
I mean,
what-
I have a
so-
full time
so-
job.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
this
but
is-
All right,
yeah,
so that I want
yeah,
to get into too.
sure.
It's like
Real
us. We
quick.
both work. And we
Real
do
quick
podcasts.
before, because we got 5 minutes left. What do you do for your job?
So
What do you do?
I'm a program coordinator. I work with adult special needs.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You got a good heart and a good soul for that. That's why the demons don't attach to you.
Yeah, it could be.
I'm
Could
telling
be.
you, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
And what
I'm
about
an
you?
inventory control manager for a lumber building supply company called Trade Supply Group.
Okay.
That's so cool. It's
Yep.
like Clark Kent and Superman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like it's somebody that probably meets you at your job would never think what you
Right.
do when
No.
you know.
Very true.
Once
People
the
in
sun
my job
comes
love
down,
it though.
Yeah.
you know. So that's what's up. We have who do we have next week? I think we got the Dean of Suffolk on next week.
Oh, really? They're coming on next week?
Yeah,
She's
either
coming on?
next week or the week after.
I gotta wait to
so
look
we
at the
might
calendar.
have to find one person. Yeah, so we got the Dean of Suffolk. We're still waiting on Father Dan Rehill.
Oh, God, come on, bro. I want to hear this Poltergeist stories. I'm
and-
dying for this.
And then we got a couple months left before Kurt Angle comes on. We're working on
Yes.
like a whole bunch of other things.
Yes.
And this is just like we met a few months back and we talked about we're gonna do a podcast, and we did it, and we've been doing it every week since, bro.
Yeah, it's all about, like I'm sure with you guys, consistency, right?
Yes.
It's all about
Yeah, we
staying
meet
true
up-
and then evolving.
We meet up
Yep.
every week.
Yep.
So, yep.
That's what's up. Anything else you got?
Listen, I mean, I could go on for hours with this.
Yeah.
We could go into conspiracy, UFOs, back
Oh,
to
yeah,
paranormal. I
yeah.
can sit here and chat. That's like
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
my
So
three favorite
well,
things.
We got your favorite wrestler. You didn't watch wrestling. Who's your favorite comic book character? DC
Oh, yes.
and then Marvel.
DC Flash, Marvel Spider-Man.
Ooh.
I love the joking around, like good-hearted.
Now,
comic
quick question. What do you think
characters.
about the new Spider-Man movie coming out?
Um,
Brand new day.
they've chosen a strange, controversial one to adapt.
I
But I'm-
know, because
I'm excited
It doesn't
about
have
it.
anything to
Oh,
do
you
with that.
see, they just
Yeah.
dropped a new outfit for Jean Grey.
Oh, yeah, I seen it.
Interesting.
But see, I know the whole Jean Grey thing, and then they're gonna have
She's gonna bring
Hulk with
Savage
Punisher. Like, it's a lot to cram in one movie, and that's supposed to be going on right after Doomsday.
Yep.
Like in the timeline, so it's like they're gonna have to tie
We'll
that
see.
in at the end. So we'll see.
Tweaking it.
But
You know,
we'll
but it's
see.
cool, we get-
Doomsday, I
we
heard.
get-
Listen, what I heard from everything I researched about Doomsday is it's supposed to be one of the best Marvel movies they ever made.
Well,
Or a
listen.
great movie, like one of the best movies ever.
Listen,
And that's a lot of different
I-
people.
I think that they're doing it too slow. Yeah, I mean, I
do you
think
mean?
they're jamming too much in.
Oh yeah, Secret Wars into just time runs out. Technically, that's what Doomsday is, and then
Yeah.
Secret Wars should have been like part 1, part 2, part 3, and time runs out. It could have been its own movie itself.
Right.
We did 4 movies out of this whole
Yeah.
thing.
100%, but I'm looking forward to seeing Spider-Man.
WrestleMania this weekend. We'll do a WrestleMania review.
WrestleMania tonight and tomorrow. We'll talk
I
about
know.
that next week.
Yes.
I think we might be having a stripper chick on that does cosplay for. She
Okay.
She does
Forgot about that.
WWE cosplay.
Okay.
And she really knows wrestling.
Okay, cool. We'll have a wrestling
So
podcast.
with that
Awesome.
being said, we're
Yes.
over and out.
Yes.
Thank you guys for coming
Thank
on.
you
Thank
guys.
you for having
Appreciate
us.
it.
Appreciate it. Yeah,
And-
definitely.
Yeah, we're done.
That's it.
Awesome.
It's a
Thank
wrap.
you.
Nice.
Oh, it always goes
Sweet.
fast.
It does go fast. These things go so
Yeah.
goddamn fast. It's crazy.
I always feel like there's not enough shit you cram. You can never cram into one. Usually I'm always like in the car, I'm like, fuck, I should have said this, I should have said that.